Welcome to the world of Valade. So, Valade is a world that I worked with our players to create, and it's still in its creation. We've got enough of its history and bits down to tell the story that we want to tell and go through here. Here, uh, Valade has gone through many ages. We are currently in the age of prosperity. In this age, a lot of changes are happening constantly and going through them. A lot of technology is being developed, and the world is generally being a better place to live overall. Prior to the age of prosperity was the age of kings, when kings ruled the world, and a lot of conflicts were fought over land. Uh, the Age of Kings came to an end when Leric the Kingslayer here came up and fought against first his own king, taking over, and then decided to put an end to the kings. The world is now in nations that are governed by counselors that are elected, at least in the area that we are playing in. For now, Um, the other things you need to know about the different ages past is the Age of Folly made many changes to the world, and in those changes is a lot of where the world was once very nice has been upset. The gods were not happy with the inhabitants, and yes, many mistakes were made, and the inhabitants have been paying for it ever since. And so let's go ahead and get in to the story. So we settle in on a morning in the city of Drusus. Within the city, we find ourselves in a hotel, the Shining Moon Inn, where we find five souls who, for one reason or another, came to the city. On this day, we're celebrating the fall of kings, the Kingslayer, and also the new year. The morning was plagued by a storm, rain, thunder, shaking everything. As our players awake in the morning, the smell of fresh rain comes to their senses. But terrors and dreams of the night before follow them. We focus in on a group of three sitting at a table, enjoying their breakfast: a centaur, a dwarf, and a forged. Would you like to go ahead and introduce your characters and describe what they look like, please?
Sure, I'll jump in. The dwarf is of stocky build with many arcane tattoos across his body. Um, he dresses in a peculiar fashion, although those above land would not know that. He his upper body looks almost as if it's made of granite. It's a dark, kind of like grayish color, and his arcane tattoos are kind of like a lighter blue. You can see them clearly etched into his skin. Um, he is he does not speak often, but when he speaks, it is pretty resolute. And he engages with with his companions that he's met over the past few days as they eat some sort of omelet.
All right, Mizeki?
Okay. Mizeki is a centaur, male, and he is a very fine white horse body, or an Arabian style horse, attached to a relatively fair skinned man with brilliant brilliant red hair and a very strong visage. He's got a sharp jaw. He looks conventionally attractive. He's got muscles at the front, and his clothing is not exactly hiding a ton about his upper torso. He's not wearing armor at all. He's wearing lots of gold. He kind of makes small noises and stuff when he moves. And he's also eating heartily, and will enjoy the conversation. He probably talks to Seven more often than Seven talks back, having spent several months traveling with him recently.
This is the no shirts needed crew.
No
We've
shirts
got
needed. All
a
right.
bear man and a centaur who doesn't wear one.
And a Warforge, who will you please go ahead and describe to us what you look like?
Sure. Ore is very lanky and mechanical for a forged, as opposed to some of the more stockier Warforged that are walking around. A lot of exposed joints and seams and rivet. Combination of just kind of a solid metal with kind of a blue-gray gunmetal look to some of the exterior panels. Most of the rivets and hinges are kind of a brass, kind of a shinier brass or bronze look to them. He has very large bronze shutter eyes, kind of like cameras. And the top of his head is modeled a little bit to look like an owl. He is, aside from wearing a cloak, not wearing much else. He can wear clothes. He's not really, it's not much of a big issue to him unless he gets fairly cold or dusty to protect his the mechanics of his frame. Um, he is fairly innocent-minded of the world, but he is very knowledge focused.
All right. At a nearby table, we see a lone tabaxi sitting by herself, enjoying a fresh meal. Would you please go ahead and describe what you look like?
Sure. Sadzi, were she completely a cat, would look sort of like a tortoiseshell cat. Since she's not, she has reddish brown and black fur, green eyes. She's usually wearing clothes that would be appropriate to go hunting or scouting in. And it's just a little bit chillier in Drusus, so she's got all of her outerwear done up, unlike the table of gentlemen sitting away from her.
All right. And as we focus in on these four individuals, there is a festival being prepared to start later in the day. The city is quite busy and bustling. What would you like to do? Let's start with the three at the table.
Are Stefan and I still mastiffs?
Did you turn into a
I know
mastiff in the morning?
as we both displayed our ability to wild shape. Stefan turned into a mastiff, and I duplicated that into a fairly mechanical mastiff.
Yeah,
I
that
think that would have been yesterday.
that was the night before.
That was the night before. I apologize. So we're just our regular selves. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So, and for those of you that are now questioning, this is our first session, but in their session 0, the players met. Some of them did anyway. So,
For those who may not be aware, a session 0 is a common practice in D&D where you get to try out your character and kind of get some background and backstory going. So we kind of pre-play these characters to get into it and kind of see who they were, how they met, how we kind of had some story before we got to these tables. So if you're wondering what is a session 0, that's what it is.
I would assume Ore is looking at Mazeki. What are you eating, Mazeki?
Whatever I can get my hands on at this point. He's been on the road for several months before this. So probably meat, vegetable, and a soup and some bread, like everything.
yeah, that's all
Ore is
readily available here.
Ore is just not eating anything, obviously, just patiently watching both of you eat, and like very intently following your hands to the food to your mouth, etc.
Seth is just scarfing down an omelet. This is delicious, is all that he says. He has also been on the road for months with Mizeki, and so he's just scarfing down this delicious inn food. This is their they arrived in town yesterday, as you heard Ore allude to, and so they had some a hearty dinner last night. But really, this is the first full, like 2 full meals in a row they've had. They've been rationing for weeks, so they're right now perfectly content to just have a great meal and figure out what the rest of the day entails.
Did anyone else have odd dreams, or is that just road indigestion for me?
I've never had dreams before that I can recall. However, I did have some sort of a vision last evening.
And I as well.
In your visions, did you see each other?
Think so. Towards the end, I think, a bit. Towards the beginning, it was a bit more pleasant, and then things got far less pleasant for a while. I believe I remember seeing you, and others I didn't recognize.
My dream or vision was most unpleasant. But you were there, and then I look over at Stefan, and you were there.
Was it an execution?
It was. The individual
Strange
being,
magic is afoot.
I feel perhaps there is destiny in our meeting. We should explore this.
I did not see but silhouetted figures. However, I saw an old familiar man, familiar yet unknown, if that makes sense.
That is also what I experienced. He had white hair, but I do not recall him.
Stefan's face kind of wrenches up, and he's kind of mulling things over as he chomps on a bit of meat and some in his omelet. Did this man have red robes?
I do not recall his attire, just the white hair.
And a man looming over him with an axe?
I remember that part, and I'm going to need a lot more alcohol if we're going to be having these weird shared dreams regularly.
Does the alcohol improve your memory?
Yes.
Fascinating.
It's coming back to me now. Yes, I remember I saw this familiar yet unknown man dressed in red robes. Another looming over him with an axe. This man had a foul energy about him. And at the end, you two have jogged my memory. I did see both of you. You were in silhouettes as if far away in the distance. And at the end, your faces became clear to me. And then I awoke.
That was my experience as well. However, there were other silhouetted figures with you before you became clear to me. I feel, and this is just an interpretation of the vision, I feel we must seek out these other individuals.
Sadzi,
He's gonna. Oh, go ahead.
can I have you make a perception check for me, as they are having this conversation not too far from you?
Sure.
Are we doing that through the site still?
5 + 5, so 10.
10. Yeah, just in D&D Beyond, is the best place to roll those. I've got that up and can see those results. Okay, so they're not being quiet about this conversation, but they're not being overtly loud about it. But you definitely pick up on some of the things that they are talking about. And although they don't match your experience exactly, there's a ring of truth to it, to your ears.
Mm, that's sort of not my dreams, but it's like the same universe as some of my dreams. I'm wondering what exactly what they're talking about. And if I can pretend to enjoy my breakfast a little longer, maybe hear more.
All right. Are you trying to kind of keep it hidden that you're listening in, or are you just trying to kind of be obvious about it and not really care? You're just very interested in what they're saying.
More more obvious. I mean, they're talking in public, so they don't want to keep it that quiet, obviously. I just want to finish my steak for breakfast.
Okay. All right. Mizeki, you were saying something here just as I called for this roll.
Yeah, he's gonna have put his head in his hand and kind of rub his side of his head a little bit and frown. He's not enjoying the idea of some sort of shared dream space destiny.
Ah,
Is
uh,
your food not agreeing with you?
Well, the food is excellent, actually. Did any of you see the bodyguard, the blonde, Emmeline, in your dreams, or was that just me?
uh, Stefan will chuckle. I think that was perhaps a different dream, my friend, and give him a large smile.
I'm just checking if some of them are still mine alone, or if this is a globally shared event and I need to be a bit more careful.
I did not recall seeing her in my vision or dream.
Nay, me neither.
Good.
Though I do recall Ore, he turns to the forged, after your suggestion to find the others. Did the old man in your dream say anything? He told me, he kind of wrenches his face again, trying to remember. Find the others before it's too late. You need to remember. Wake up.
Those were the words I recall from my vision as well.
Zeki will groan again and say, "Yep, that was me too."
Do our characters know of any like powerful archmages or anything like that around here? Like, do we know? We have clearly determined that we are having some joint event that is not fully natural. Um, would we know of any individuals that could perhaps do this or know of this phenomenon?
Make a history check. Each of you can make that.
I do not recall with a 7.
Um, one moment, technical difficulties.
You're just trying to figure out how to roll it in D&D Beyond.
Yeah, I mean, I've rolled before. I'm gonna have to look at my settings. When I click on it, it's not working, but I will just roll it in Avery, and then I'll tell you what the result was. You're in that channel.
Right.
Double check you're not sending it to self in the little drop down on the game log.
I rolled a natural 15, so that takes me to a 20.
Okay. All right. So we have a 7, a 13, a 20, and a 20.
Oh, excuse me, it's a an 18.
Oh, an 18. Okay, an 18 and a 20. All right. So, Ore, although you are the recent resident of this city and have been living here for a long time, you don't know of any powerful archmages or anything in this city. Eh,
Seems
Uh,
on par.
so, and for Sadzi and um, Sefin, although your scores are high, you recall that there was indeed a archmage that lived here many, many years ago, but he has not resided here for some time. His name was Kiri Starkind, and he was a high elf.
Could be some elf magic. Seth will share with everybody else.
And Mizeki, as you're thinking and you're trying to recall, for a moment, you don't know of any archmages here, but you get this random thought that pops into your head, and you're not entirely sure what it is or why it came to you, but you get the idea that this is not anything to do with any archmages. And then you hear a name in your head. And it's a voice that you can't quite place, but it sounds familiar.
Okay.
And
I
it
mean, this.
whispers,
Go ahead.
whispers in your ear, Pedro. You think for a moment what that name means. Make a religion check.
Religion. I'm feeling particularly religious today. It's a 19.
You, being a worshipper of Maquette, are quite familiar with a few of the different divines of this world. And you recognize the name Pedro the Arcane as one of the deities of the world.
Okay. He's probably going to whisper the word or the name a couple times and then say it. Pedro. Anyone recognize that?
Would I recognize that name?
Make a religion check.
Religion. I am not proficient. That's a 13.
It sounds familiar, but you can't place it.
Okay.
Steph tries to recall as well, but he doesn't know all of the deities up here on the surface, and fails miserably with a 10.
I know it's an arcane god of some sort. And he starts kind of tapping his fingers on the table as he's trying to remember more and figure out stuff in his head because no one else knows.
It does seem familiar to me as well, but I cannot place more details.
If it's really bothering you that much, you know there's a giant library in town.
They all turn to Sadzi with the shocked Pikachu face.
I mean, Mizeki's gonna not turn and snap and go, there is, and I was hoping to visit. Would you care to join me?
I can guide us directly there. I have stayed there for some time.
I would appreciate that. It's gonna be hard enough to find a place and all of the commotion out there. She waves her hand towards the door.
We have not been introduced. I am Ore of Stargazer, and I extend my hand to shake.
She shakes his hand very briefly. Sadzi.
Sadzi, it is a pleasure to make your acquaintance.
Likewise.
Muzeki is going to very quickly hide his small frown at Ore introducing himself first, before standing up and then bowing slightly and then offering his own hand. Muzeki, at your service.
Right. Pleasure, I'm sure.
It is.
And Seth will stand and give kind of like a short a bow. And he'll say, I am Sephin Gray. Hello.
Well, nice to meet you all. So, Ori, was it?
Yes,
Will you lead us to the libraries?
gladly. Are we ready to finish our meals and depart, or do you still need time to consume?
Sephin's play is clear by this point. He's ready to go.
Mizeki will gather up a last bit of vegetable and meat into some of his bread and make a sandwich and be like, I believe I'm ready.
Sadzi glances over at her plate, which is completely empty, and if you didn't know better, you'd think she'd lick the plate.
Maybe she did.
No comment.
Well, then let us depart.
And so
Enter
we
clip clopping coconuts.
Enter clip
as we
clopping
traverse the city.
coconuts. So
And-
you head out of the inn into the city streets. You guys have been here for about a week now, and every day the city has been getting busier and busier leading up to the festival. And as you step out into the city, you can't really move quickly due to the floods of people that are making their way towards the city center and the outer cities where the festival is being held. The festival start is to happen in about 30 minutes, kicking off the celebrations for the day.
As we go into the hustle and bustle of people, Sephin is visibly shaken and trying to keep his composure, but this is more humanoids than he's seen his entire life.
You say we're kind of getting carried away with the crowd for the density of people kind of moving through the street.
It's definitely harder to move in the street due to the density of them, but you're not being forced in a specific direction.
should we go perhaps to the festivities first and pursue this after? It seems like this might be relevant given the importance of the event.
I would enjoy that as like Ore is kind of like moving with the crowd, trying really hard not to bump into people, kind of looking over his shoulder for the group.
And while we do that, you know how basically what Ori just described, when you try and move with the crowd and not bump into any people, Sephin has never learned those skills. So he is just like a wrecking ball, just walking through the crowd, bumping into people, not even super sorry about it. He has this whole like this is my space mentality. So he's probably causing a little bit of angst around us.
And Mizeki is almost 7 feet tall and weighs 600 pounds, so
If one more person steps on my tail,
I'm more
I
of
think
like
I
a
went to school with
barge.
Sephin.
We very inelegantly make our way toward the festivities.
All right, so you're heading towards the festivities, not to the library.
I mean, as soon as we decide to turn around, I'm gonna start excitedly cheering and stuff, getting into the crowd in general and the excitement.
Okay. As you begin making your way with the crowd in the direction towards the city, you see a few familiar faces in the crowd. So particularly, you see Emily is headed up with. Oh dang, what's her name? I have so many NPCs in this area right now that I'm forgetting all of them at once.
With Utra
Dawson?
Counselor.
Yeah, with the counselor.
Miss Counselor lady. I
Yeah,
don't remember her name either, to be honest.
Tamiki. So you see Emily and Tamiki making their way towards. They stand out, given that she is also a centaur, the counselor.
And Emily is beautiful.
And Emily is beautiful. However, she does not stand out as such. And they are also heading in this direction towards that. You
Are
can
they within like speaking distance?
you could yell out and call for them, but you'd have to definitely raise your voice to get over the crowd.
I-
Will do no such thing, but Mizeki.
Yeah, immediately. Hail, Counselor! And waving. And
So
he's
when
not trying to get him to come over. He's just like indicating that I see you and I exist and you should say hello.
all right, when you say "Hail, counselor," or you see, in addition to Tamiki turn, you see that there are 3 others that turn and look at you as well for a moment. And you do not recognize any of them, but one is a human, one is a Goliath, and one is a half orc.
Hashtag not my counselors. Just saying.
They all kind of stare at you for a minute and begin walking on, but Tamiki goes, "Ah, good to see you, Mizeki. Heading to the festivities?"
He's gonna look at Emily instead of Tamiki because he's kind of an idiot sometimes, and say, "Yes, yes, we are. We were hoping to enjoy them and then pursue the library afterwards for some information."
Good, good. I'm glad we ran into you. Emily has something that she would like to give you, and uh, is Stefan with you?
He's gonna kind of look around himself and spot an area where people have clearly left a space because the mean rude dwarf is bumping into them, and point at him and say, "Ah, there he is.
All
We've
right.
also collected a few others."
You collected a few others, huh? Well, tell Stefan that Thessic is looking for him.
He'll just sort of look down and go, "Seven, Fezzik," and then shrug.
Stefan. So Fesic was sort of a mentor to Stefan on this whole journey, but also gave him a hard time. He's a dwarf barbarian, and Stefan will be a little confused at this because he thought he was going back to the High Throne of Bedrock with the rest of the party. So his interest is instantly piqued, and he'll start making his way towards the counselors, bumping into everything he sees.
All right. So you guys make your way to the crowd. Tamiki and Emily stopped to allow you to catch up with them. As you arrive, Tamiki goes, I see you've made a few new friends. Greetings. I am Tameki. I am the counselor for Utra. We are a peaceful desert folk out in the desert of Utra's Folly. It is nice to meet you all. Who are you? And she gestures towards Sadzi.
Oh, hello. I'm Sadzi from the wilds.
Oh, the wilds. Interesting. Did you escort your counselor here as well? Is that what brought you?
Not this time, ma'am.
Not this time. Okay, well, Marble, great man. So he's currently our Grand Counselor, and
Does that mean
Yes.
he wears the biggest hat?
Yes, my father has spoken of him.
Yes. Well, and then also Zamza, your local counselor. So the wild definitely represented quite well.
How nice.
And then
Very strange smile.
she turns and looks at you, Ore. Curious. How old are you?
As I understand it, I am quite old. A few thousand years.
I'm not
I
surprised.
am I
I've
am
ne-
Ore. I was an attendant at the Moongazer Spire some time ago, and more recently an attendant at the Iotopia Society here in town.
It's nice to meet you, Ore. You are
The pleasure is mine.
an unusual model. Definitely old.
That has been expressed to me.
You're in quite good condition, though.
I owe more to the curators than I do to self-preservation.
Well, I'm glad to see that Mazeki has made a few friends. Has he decided to stay here? Is that true, Mazeki? You've decided to stay, correct?
I am hoping to visit the library. As you mentioned, and many others have come up, it probably has useful information for me.
Well, be sure to enjoy the day. The festival only happens once a year. And she hands you a small pouch.
I turn to Mazeki.
Disappears.
The library is quite a sight. I have lost many hours reading through the books there. You will enjoy it.
So, how big is this library? I've heard rumors, but
As buildings in this city go, it is fairly sizable.
do you know how to find things easily? And
I do, yes.
what if they're not in the building you're in?
There is just the one facility in town that I'm aware of. It has quite thorough volumes on most topics.
I'm
Ah,
sure the
I
attendants will
see.
help as well.
I'd heard it was so big it had to be spread over multiple buildings. Maybe I
There are
misunderstood.
there are buildings in other cities as well. They gather information as a network.
Oh, okay.
What
I
what
understand.
what did the bag feel like?
The bag, it felt
Ah,
like some coin.
Ooh, free coins.
Mom, my counselor didn't give me my allowance.
It's because you're not as cool. So, at this point, Mizeki has money and he's going to a festival, and he doesn't need any more of a plan, so he's just going to follow along.
All right. Does anybody else have anything that they would like to do? Sefin, you've been told Thessic is looking for you.
Yeah, he's gonna ask where Tamiki and Emmeline last saw Thesic.
Oh, well, it would have been about an hour ago as we left the inn after our breakfast.
Mizeki's going to point at a nearby bird and say, "Is that him?"
Sefin will turn to Mizeki and grunt like Thesic. Thesic is a barbarian. Mizeki.
Dwarves are strange, Seven. Maybe he can turn into birds.
A birdbarian.
Exactly.
Um,
I am not familiar with that species.
he, he will note that Thessic is looking for him, and then one follow-up question he'll ask if they know his timetable, like if he's staying for the festival or if he's leaving. Because if he's going to be here for a bit, we'll just try and follow, see if we see him during the events of the day.
We are all intending to stay for the festival, so I am sure Thessic is with Councillor Coppercloak at the moment, making sure that she is safe and taken care of.
At the mention of Councillor Coppercloak, he will become even more interested, and then he'll just ask if the councillors will have a plan to meet, because maybe you can just catch them all if they have a meeting later today.
No, we had a meeting earlier today. Our final meeting, just discussing what is going to be done at the festival and who will be on stage at the opening of it with our Grand Counselor. Unfortunately, neither I nor Coppercloak will be among them.
All right. I will find Thessic and Councillor Coppercloak as we survey the area.
All right. At this, Tamiki and Emily begin to walk further, heading towards the city center. As you make your way through the crowd, bumping into a few uh, people and just kind of forcing your way through, given the size of this group, um, given that you have a very large centaur and a dwarf who can't control himself so well and just kind of runs into people. You stand out a bit, but looking around, there are all sorts of different people here. None of you have seen this many people together in one place in your life. Eventually, though, you make your way towards the city center, where there is a stage set up in the center, and the crowd kind of circles around it. On the stage, you see that there is an orange furred tabaxi sitting on the stage. Next to him is a gnome. And Satsi, you recognize this gnome. This is Councillor Gleaming Hand, who you had the privilege of driving up to the city with. In addition to this gnome, is that half-orc you saw earlier in the crowd when you called out, "Hey, Counselor."
I'd probably wave to them and jump up a little bit.
All right. As you do this, you see the gnome just kind of give you a quick wave, and you see coming up onto stage is the other gnome that you met with him.
Oh, it's good to see them again. I wonder what they're doing. Like what their part in the festival is.
That is
Are
the
you saying
question.
that aloud, or
Kind of to myself, the last bit. Like, oh,
as
it's good to see them. And I wonder what they're doing.
as Ore overhears you, and he's been like watching everybody as we're walking through the crowd. He's just like shifting his eyes back and forth to every individual, like walking anywhere in any direction in this crowd, because he's just a big people watcher. When you say that, he starts looking around. To who are you referring?
To Counselor Gleaming Hand and the other tabaxi over there, and everyone who's getting on stage right now.
I would
Uh,
presume they're going to run the festivities.
Well, I don't remember them telling me that. I came here with them.
Is there like an MC, like Yo, yo, yo! Welcome to the festival.
Not yet.
This is
Let's
not
get
DruidCon.
crunk up in here.
Welcome to the main stage.
To your left.
All right. As the crowd kind of gathers and the volume level kind of begins to grow for a bit, you see the orange tabaxi kind of move to the center of the stage, and then a small little halfling runs up to him, puts his hand on his shin, and then the tabaxi begins to speak, and his voice booms out over the crowd. Welcome, everybody, to the End of Kings and End of Year Festival in Drusus. I am your Grand Counselor, Marble. It is nice to see so many lovely faces today. Our festival shall begin shortly. Up on stage, we have our counselor, Rorgo Reed, and our counselor. What's his first name? Come on, switch over. Gilkos Gleaming Hand. They will be helping direct the festivities today. If you have any questions about where to go, look for any of the three of us, and we will be happy to direct you for what you are looking for. Most of the activities will take place outside the city walls where there is more space to be around, but a few things will take place here in the city center as you disperse, and room is made. At the end of the day, we will celebrate the King's End, and then at the end of the night, we will celebrate the year's end. So, the all-day festival is about to begin. Enjoy yourselves and have a good time. At this
We
moment, as he finishes speaking, you see an arrow fly, piercing him in the shoulder. Immediately, all those on stage look around, looking concerned, seeing what's going on. The two gnomes run over, grab Marble, and then vanish from sight.
Mizaki's gonna immediately look for Emily. See where she's looking.
So you look for Emily. Go ahead and give me a perception check.
Ore is going to be looking for where that arrow came from.
18.
Sansi too.
Okay, go ahead and give me a perception check.
23 for me.
17 for me.
Okay, so Mizeki, you are looking for Emily, and it doesn't take you very long to spot her. She is running quickly, escorting Tamiki away from this area. You see the same thing with Rorgo. A human comes out, grabs him, and starts pulling him off the stage. She's got her shield up, and she's got an axe in her other hand, and she's just kind of looking around. And you see that there are a few of these just kind of going around where there are people just grabbing someone and just escorting them and running from
Good.
this area.
That was mostly what he was looking to make sure of.
Ore and Sadzi, looking around for where this arrow came from, you look around and you see the direction where the arrow came from, and you see, standing on a roof, is a lone gnoll, bow in hand, and as the arrow hits and you turn and you look, you hear him begin to chant, Ku-che, Ku-che, Ku-che. Sadzi, you know this as the city that the Gnoll are from in the wild. As he chants this, voices grow louder, and it's not only him, and soon you see another one pop up over the roof, bow in hand, and then another, and another.
It's going down.
Ore is not like making any like hunching or mad dashing or like sudden movements of self-preservation. He does mutter out loud, "Is this normal in a festival?"
No.
So
And
it's
once
not.
once Sadzi says no, he is going to target the knoll with guiding bolt. How far away is this knoll?
So from your position, he's about 200 feet away.
Then Ore is going to start closing that distance as he's trying to target him.
It is important to note, gnolls are not intrinsically evil in this world.
Correct. Gnolls are not intrinsically evil in this world.
Because normally this would be immediately, oh shit, gnolls, everybody run.
Although they
But-
did just try and kill someone,
Yeah,
so
These gnolls are
probably
probably
Yeah.
evil.
Seriously,
But
just tried to
normally-
shoot somebody.
Like that's an important distinction. Is like this would be like if a random civilian dude popped up and started shooting people, and then others. So it's a bit more impactful and a bit less expected, I guess. Is
Well, I'm gonna take off and follow Ori. If Ori's cutting a path in the crowd, then I'll follow him. Otherwise, I'm gonna start weaving through people to try to get close enough to see if I can hit the gnolls with something.
I'm gonna take a shot at him with my short bow.
Okay. That's going to be at long range, so that's disadvantage.
Yes, disadvantage.
As I'm closing the distance
Oof.
on the knoll, is there anything off about a knoll of this knoll or this group of knolls from what common knolls would be? Are they just regular knolls?
They are indeed just regular gnolls. They don't seem to have anything unusual about them. You are not super familiar with gnolls. Not many of them come to the city. They mostly stay in the wilds.
Okay.
So I got a 24 and a 9, of course.
All
So
right. All right. Given the long distance there, your shot goes wide. As the arrow flies by the gnolls, you see them pull out their arrows and just kind of shoot into the crowd. And as they do, they begin to run towards the edge of the roof and begin to climb down into the city streets. As this is happening, you see that there are more gnolls coming from the opposite side of the area, just marching towards the center of the city, just kind of corralling everybody into the city center as they can.
How many gnolls are there, and are there others who are making resistance? What Seth is trying to look at is this like a let's peace out moment, or do we stand and fight? Like, what is the general scene?
So there are a few people that are making a stand. You don't recognize any of them directly, but you're sure that they're fighting. Whether they were fleeing first or not, you're not sure.
And how many gnolls are there, like that we can see?
That you can see at this point, you count about 20.
All right, let's do this thing. 4 level 2s against 20 gnolls. Go. I was kidding.
Okay.
Seth will so he can cast mage armor once per day. So I guess he'll do that, and then he'll keep running, and then I don't know if we're doing initiative or not, but next he'll cast. He'll have another buff he's gonna cast, and then he's gonna turn into a giant hyena.
Okay. So, Sadzi, one thing that you notice specifically is these gnolls seem to only really be targeting Tabaxi.
racist.
Well, I'm gonna notice that, be pissed, and are they using like one road or alleyway to come into the city center? Or are
No,
they spread out?
they are spread out all around the city center, but you could probably find a certain road that's got 4 or 5 that are all coming in on that one road.
Okay. Am I within, say, 60 feet of that road?
Oh yeah, easily.
Can I cast Create Bonfire right in front of them?
Yeah, go for it.
Alright, so refresh my memory. Do I need to do anything particular?
I don't remember create bonfire. That's a cantrip.
Yeah.
Let's see. What does it say
Oh.
for that one? Are you using it to attack, or are you just creating a fire to just kind of ward them off?
Mostly to ward them off.
Okay. Yeah, then you don't need to do anything. You just summon your magic and you create, and a fire just kind of springs up in front of the gnolls as they're marching towards this. As you do this, it draws their attention towards you. Ori, she was following you, so you are here. And Sefin, you said that you wanted to shift into a hyena. We'll say you'll go chasing after them. What about you, Mizeki? Are you sticking with your group, or are you going to go chase down Emily and Tamiki?
I mean, at the core of it, Mizeki trusts them to do their job. So he's probably more worried about the random people getting caught than he is his counselor right now.
Okay.
Because, like, Emily can handle these dudes, no problem. So he's probably going to have followed along. He's twice as fast as Sefin is, even just using my bonus action alone just to move. So,
Not hyena 7.
well, yeah, but you're not a hyena yet.
All right. So let's go ahead and roll some initiative. This will be the 4 of you against 5 gnolls in this road.
All right. Did Zephin shift into wild shape into his hyena form, or is that going to be the first round of this initiative?
You did.
Okay, so as he shifts to the untrained eye, this seems to happen both at once. His skin starts gleaming as if there's frost on the tips of his hairs, and then he turns into a hyena. So it's like this frost-tipped hyena that goes bounding into the fray as we roll for initiative.
So
Frosted tips. Welcome
yeah,
to 92.
frosted tips. Yeah,
Frosted tips. All right.
that's his name
not
now.
what I meant.
It's too late. That's
Streets back.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do initiatives here. So did anybody get 20 to 25?
I got 22.
22. 15 to 20?
19.
18.
I got a 6.
Oh, I actually got a 19 as well, because hyenas have a +2.
Oh yeah, you get to benefit from their.
I like how
physical
our rogue is going last.
Hey, I already shot, so
He's just scouting the area, right?
All right.
Was I able to get close enough to make my first shot, or is that just will be my first move in initiative order?
That'll be your first opportunity in initiative order. All right, Sadzi, you are up first. You've created a bonfire here, and it's holding these gnolls at bay just a little bit, but they've all got their bows drawn and trained on you.
we're in like a side road. Yeah, we've kind of turned a little bit.
Yep.
Okay, so it's like maybe 40 feet across or so.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna either
Yeah.
duck behind the giant metal person in front of me, or I'm gonna see if there's any sort of cover, like boxes, doorways, anything like that. I can kind of
So
hide behind.
you could duck into a small little alleyway to kind of get off the main street, but the gnolls could probably catch up to that alleyway as well and still see down it. But it gets you out of their line of sight, at least for now. And so if you can do something to disappear or hide once you're in that alleyway, you may be able to break cover entirely from them.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything that would let me completely hide from them, but I don't know. Can I try to like look like I'm homeless or otherwise not be as conspicuous?
Yeah.
I mean, they're shooting cat
Could you
people
use the crowds
indiscriminately.
of people?
So there are crowds of people. So you could run back out into the crowd and make your way there. If you'd like to do that, I'd have you make a stealth check with disadvantage, though, because you are a tabaxi, and they seem to be hunting tabaxi specifically.
Oh yeah.
Might be best to just break line of sight and then
Yeah.
start casting at them.
I think break line of sight because I'm not gonna. I can't really do anything if I take off. I just want them to not be able to like directly shoot me.
Yeah, so probably fire and then run and duck into the alleyway to break line of sight.
Yeah.
And then if you've got anything with a bonus action, go from there.
I do not.
Okay, so what do you want to do?
Well, I've fired the bonfire, right?
Yeah, so
And
so
then
that was before your turn. So
Yeah, and then. Oh, so I get one more shot?
Yep.
Okay. Firebolt at the leader.
Okay.
Yes?
Yeah, go ahead. Roll to hit.
6
There's
plus 6, so 12?
12. That will miss. It kind of just glances off of their hide armor, absorbing into it. Doesn't seem to make contact with their body at all to actually damage.
Oh, crap. Run and hide!
All right. You run and hide. At this point, the gnolls are up. I rolled a nat 20 on their initiative, so they
Ooh.
get to go quite fast in this.
What's our distance from them?
So they are 60 feet from you guys.
Alrighty.
So they are going to, with their bows drawn, as Sadzi goes running in to the alleyway, 2 of them are going to fire at you. The first one gets a 17 to hit. The second one gets a 20 to hit, and I really like these dice, but you guys don't.
Ouch.
yeah. I mean, I'm gonna come to your house and take your digital
Wait,
dice.
they're aiming at me?
Yes.
Is this happening simultaneously? Because I thought she already dove out of line of sight.
Yeah, so they're running up and firing as she's going in
Oh, they're
there.
following her into the alley. Got
Yep.
it.
Yeah.
Uh,
There's a thing he said they could do.
Yep. Yeah, okay, so these dice are rolling really well in my favor. The first arrow does 9 damage, and so does the second.
I would be dead.
Rip. Sadzi is
Yeah.
down.
Unconscious for sure. Yeah. Like, these dice have not rolled
Cool.
below half. All
These
right.
guys don't like me.
Good thing we have a couple of druids here.
Speaking
Let's
of
not
which,
heal.
an arrow goes flying at Ore. That's a natural 1. So there we go. And then
That will just miss.
a second one will go flying at the hyena. That is a 5 to hit.
Get wrecked.
Yeah,
It
like
misses.
as soon as I talked up the dice, they decided to start failing for me.
It's
Yeah,
because those dice are anti-tabaxi dice. What's the keyword
Yeah.
in 5e? It's like something killer or something like that. Anyway, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tabaxi hunter. Or whatever it
And
is.
then the 5th arrow goes flying at Mizeki. That is a 7.
Excuse me. That misses.
Wow. Yeah, they really just like they're like kill that cat, and they're like
They-
now we're
they went on-
stormtroopers and we can't.
Yeah,
hit
they went
anything."
on union break. It's
Yeah.
just for thematic effect.
Well, like, and the thing is, like,
Thematic effect.
I rolled
Thanks.
max damage on the damage both times. I was just like, oh yeah,
Yeah.
this is my new set of critical roll dice that I got from the Kickstarter that I'm using, and they are so far fantastic. But
Well, the name.
Is it
fit
cool
because
if
your
we
first
do-
roll with them was a crit.
Is it cool if we
They
just
are
do our own
indicated
physical
this?
dice?
yeah, that is fine.
Okay, because
There,
I've got like tons and I want to play with my new ones.
yeah. So
I,
like,
I
I
totally
definitely
throw it on
prefer you
two
guys
different
doing
dice.
them when we have a table actually in the game log, because that way it shows up on stream. But right now I just don't have that on the stream, so I'm not worried about it.
That's fine.
So, but next is Ore and Sephin, since you both got 19s. You
Alright,
are
Ori,
both
what's
up.
Your next mod.
So, the guy that I was targeting is the sniper that was on the roof. I'm assuming I've already closed the distance and moving forward up until initiative order, so I can target him now.
Yeah, he's 60 feet away at this point.
Would I have noticed what happened to Sadzi? My attention was mostly on him getting within range. So would I have noticed that Sadzi has gotten like put down behind me, off to the side?
Yeah, you watched her run
probably
off into
heard
the alleyway, and the one that you were following is the one that shot her.
Oh, then yeah, I'm still gonna pop one in him with a guiding bolt.
Okay.
Using my feature to cast it. That is a 22 to hit.
That hits.
And that is That's an okay roll. 17.
17
Radiant damage.
damage? How are you dealing 17 damage? Oh,
It does
it-
46
Guiding
with
bolt.
guiding bolt.
46.
Guiding bolts is
Yeah.
46.
for
Yeah.
some
'Cause
reason I was
it's
thinking
a
this was a
targeted-
cantrip. But
Yeah,
no,
no, this
it's
is
that's the
level
first
1.
level spell. Yeah, 17. Okay. Yeah, you just you take him good. So he's
Is
looking
he
hurt.
still up? Or
Yeah,
is
he's
he
still
looking
up,
hurt?
but he's
Then,
looking real hurt.
All right.
So the next attack on him gets advantage.
Yeah, and that's gonna be me.
And how close are the rest of the gnolls going at the Tabaxi?
So the two going at Tabaxi are 30 feet.
They're 30 feet.
Mm-hmm.
Can I close the distance and put myself between Sadzi and them?
Yeah.
Then I will do that for my move. And I cannot cast Healing Word as a bonus action because that's 2 first level spells.
Correct.
Correct.
Okay. Oh, nope, that's an action. I can't do that. Okay. So yeah, I'm just gonna put myself between them and her.
Okay. So you kind of
Not really
interpose yourself there, getting into melee with them, making their bows a little bit less effective. Sephin.
Yeah, so Sephin is gonna let out a hyena growl, and then he'll run at the one that Ore just guiding bolted, snarl, try and bite it with advantage. I don't have this attack on my sheet, so I'm just gonna roll 2 d20s, and it's a +5. He's just biting.
Okay.
You can Starry form as a bonus action, by the way, Ori.
All right, so that's a 19 to hit, and then the second one I'll roll, but I believe that hit.
Yeah, the 19 hits. But if it's advantage, roll to see if you crit.
Yeah, no crit.
Okay.
So the 19 hits, and it does.
And this is the one with
2d6
guiding bolt.
+3. Yes.
Go ahead and roll your damage.
Is there a way to increment your dice in this?
So if you click the dice
Yes.
again, it'll
Got it.
So you can roll any
Alright,
combination
so
in D&D
that
Beyond.
is 8.
8 damage. All right. He goes down.
Hooray! All right, so Seth rushes in. He's all covered in magical frost, and he snaps at this guy, and then turns to the next one. So hyenas have a feature called Rampage. So when it reduces a creature to 0 hit points with a melee attack on its turn, it can use a bonus action to move up to half its speed and make another bite attack. So it will move 25 more feet, which is Dwarven Sephin's normal move speed, so he's feeling pretty good. And also interpose himself between this gnoll and Sadzi. Are we playing with flanking? I forget.
We are.
Okay, so if possible, he'd like to get in a flanking position with Ore and then make another bite at this dude.
Okay. Yeah, you can go ahead and make that bite attack.
All right.
Are
so
you the
he'll roll
giant hyena?
with advantage?
you
I am a
regular
giant hyena. Yeah.
Nice.
I rolled with advantage and I got a 4. No, it's a 4 plus 5, so a 9.
Well,
That's not gonna cut it.
it's a 3 plus 5 or a 1 plus 5. So yeah.
It fails.
Yep.
Miserably.
So yeah, so that is going to miss. All right. So up next, you, Ore and Sephin, you will see this. You see that there is an elf in the alleyway where Sadzi went down, and he is going to call out and say, "Get up!" So you're going to heal 7 hit points, Sadzi, as he casts Healing Word on you. And that is his bonus action, and then as his action, he is going to cast Sacred Flame at the gnoll. So the gnoll gets a 3 on their save, and will take 2 damage. And then it is Mizeki's turn.
Okay. So there's how many gnolls are in front of me, and how many gnolls have gone down the alley?
There are 2 went down the alley. One of those 2 is dead, and there are 3 still in front of you.
Cool. I'm gonna. Can I see the other one that went down the alley?
Yeah, you can still see him. You have a hyena behind him and a middle person in front of him, so you would have sneak attack against him since he's engaged with your allies.
Nice. I'm gonna run over and stab him,
Okay.
and preferably do so by moving 30 feet so that I can charge.
Okay. Yeah, easy.
So give me just a second. Actually, have my correct weapon equipped. Because I accidentally deleted my rapier.
Wow. Fail.
Yeah, so it's just life sometimes.
Just trying to make life exciting, I see.
Yeah, alright. So charge and rapier. Woo! 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
And then it does that. And 11 damage.
Okay, is that with sneak attack?
No, and sneak attack is another 1, sadly.
So 12. Okay. All
And
right.
then if he's still up, I get to hit him with my hooves.
Yeah, he is still up and he is looking hurt.
13.
13 hits because he's got
Nice.
his bow out and doesn't have his shield out.
I kick him in the junk for 4.
Okay. He is still up, but he's kind of doubled over in pain. Sadzi, it is your turn. You come to consciousness, and you see that there is one gnoll kind of in the alley that your allies have been engaged with, and there is an elf behind you.
Hmm. Well, as I'm coming to, I'm probably like absently cleaning my whiskers, as one does. And I'm trying to figure out if there's anything I can do to.
Is there any big spells you can drop, or?
Yeah, I'm looking.
You have caustic, don't you?
Yeah, but I mean, if there's not several gnolls within 30 feet of me, I'd almost rather like try a firebolt or something like that.
Yeah, if you wanted to go back out into the main road, you could get to where all 4 of them would be within 30 feet of you.
It has
It's
to
a
be
trap.
a line. Yeah.
However, I am licking my wounds, metaphorically or real. So yeah, let's not do that.
Finish off the guy. Because there's one still in the alley with you.
Yeah, can I flick a firebolt at the guy who's in front? I mean, I assume I'm probably still on the ground, but I can like shoot between Ori's legs or over his shoulder or something.
Right, and you can stand up. It takes half your movement to stand, so.
I'm cool staying behind the large metal dude. That's cool.
Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make your attack roll against the gnoll.
17.
17, that will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay. 2.
2.
Really? Damn it, dice.
That's how cantrips go sometimes. All right. It is the gnoll's turn. The gnoll you have engaged with is going to put his bow away, pulling out his spear and his shield, and is going to stab at the hyena.
How's he get that shield out? That's an action, bro.
It is.
You get to interact with the things as part of an attack. So
It technically still spends your free interact.
Yeah.
So he has to use an action to draw the shield. He can only draw one of the items unless he has 2 weapon stuff.
Yeah,
so,
you can thank
yeah.
Muriels and Crawford for that one. Using a shield is an action.
Yeah. No, it's not.
Unless we want to make it not.
Yeah.
And I'm cool with that.
That's a 6 to hit. Or sorry, a 7.
I really wish you would have hit so I could have my frost armor attack him back. But
Yeah, well,
that fails.
you might have the other ones hit you because they are running up and doing the same, pulling out their
Yeah,
spears
but they'll
and
hit me with
shields.
bows.
The
Oh, good,
fiery
great.
frosted tips.
So, all right. So the first one is going to attack Mizeki. That is a 21
Well, yeah, that hits.
for 5 points of piercing damage as you get poked with a spear in your hindquarters. And then the hyena, that is a 14 to hit.
That misses because of mage armor.
Well, maybe you shouldn't have done mage armor then.
I know.
And lastly, Ori, this one's going to come up and hit you. That's a 14 to hit.
Also just misses.
Okay. It is Ore and Sephin's turn.
So there's 4 more coming down the alleyway behind us.
No, these are the 4. They have all come up to you.
They've all come up to us.
Yeah, because you
I-
all went
yeah.
down this alleyway to interpose yourself between them and Sadzi.
So it's
Got it.
just a good old scrum.
Mm-hmm.
Am I in a position where I can position myself between or adjacent to my group with them directly in front of me to cast Thunderwave?
Which is a cube in front of it, or
Yeah, so
whatever direction.
it's a cube that you aim. So you wouldn't obviously be able to hit the one in the center because he's completely surrounded by your allies. But the other one that came up next to you, you could hit him with a thunder wave. But to
So
get
it's
more
just
than
one
one, to get more than one, you're gonna have to hit your allies.
Gotcha. Then let's not do that at the
I want to
moment.
add, I'm grievously wounded.
Am I adjacent
Oh,
to
right.
any of them currently?
Because you rolled.
There's the one that I was adjacent to down, or is there still another one I'm adjacent to?
So there's the one that you're all surrounding, and then another one came up and is adjacent to you as well.
Gotcha. Okay. So then that not as fun as I wanted that to be. I am going to hit the one next to me with Primal Savagery.
Okay.
The one
Hey, I
that's
know that.
surrounded.
The one that's surrounded. Okay, go ahead and
The
roll.
one that's surrounded. So I get the advantage, right?
Yep. Flanking.
So that is nat 1 and a 15 for 22.
Okay.
For 22, I'm assuming.
22 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
And that is an 8.
All right.
8 poison damage.
Okay. And how are you attacking? Claws, bite?
So yeah, as he's kind of surrounded, I kind of put my attention onto him, and very sharp barbs extrude from the ends of my fingertips, and they're just dripping with some green fuzz, and I just right into the back of him.
All right. As you stab it into the back and pull it out, he just kind of collapses, is in between you all, and goes down.
And
Zeph growls, half at the knoll and half at Ore.
I can't shoot into adjacency without it being. I have a bonus feature. When I do a wild shape, I can become a starry being, archer, and I can fire radiant damage at a creature. Would it be at a disadvantage in adjacency with this other one?
Yeah, ranged attacks are at disadvantage when you're in melee.
You can still move though if you needed to. I mean,
Plus,
you might take the opportunity attack.
right. Plus, that happens when you wild shape, right?
Yes, that happens when I wild shape. So I'm burning a wild shape to do it.
Okay. Oh, yeah, and you can
It's
burn
instead of, yeah.
Yeah, so instead
Yes.
of wild shape, you can
Oh.
do that as bonus action. I was gonna say because I knew bonus actions for you, or wild shape was an action for you, not a bonus action. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's what I was gonna say. If he primal savagery, you don't have 2 actions, so you can't do that this turn, right? Bonus actions are only for moon druids.
yeah, his
Like,
starry
this
form
is
is a bonus action.
It is a bonus action. I can turn into it and instantly fire as a bonus.
Yeah, you
Oh,
get
that
the
is
you
awesome.
get the attack when you turn and later turns as a bonus action again.
As long as
Cool
I'm still in
beans.
the starry form, I can
It is.
fire this off as bonus actions. So I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna starry form and target this guy and make the same attack. And how do I roll this attack?
If he is flanked and you're at disadvantage, then it should cancel out to neutral, right?
He's not flanked anymore. He killed the one that was flanked.
Yeah, I targeted the flanked one first. The guy who just ran up on it. Oh, I don't think he's flanked at all. So I have not used this. How do I roll for this guy? Do I just do a regular roll? What am I doing?
You should have an action for it.
That's what I was looking for.
It's
check-
under your
check
bonus
your
actions.
It's
bonus
further down.
actions,
It's further down. I was like, why am I not seeing this?
Yeah, for
So
some reason it
bonus
goes to
action,
its own
starry
section.
form attack.
section.
I apologize. That is a 23 to hit.
And you did that with disadvantage.
Oh, let's do that again then. That is an 11 to hit.
The 11 will miss.
11 will miss. Okay. And with
Cruel
that,
dice.
yeah, very cruel dice. I will just imagine that I can. Nope, I'm good. I'm gonna hold my ground and still kind of, if capable, still position myself between this guy running up and Sadzi.
Okay. Yeah, you're still in between him because she's still down the alleyway a little bit further than the rest of you.
Gotcha.
Is there a position where Stefan can wedge himself in between in melee with all 3 of the remaining gnolls, or at least 2 of them?
You are in melee with 2 of them. One of them just decided to attack Mizeki instead of you. So right now it's you on to your south, and your east is more gnolls. And then to the gnolls to your east north is where Mizeki is. So you're catty corner to Mizeki.
Okay, so I have flanking on the east one then.
You don't have flanking on either of them.
I thought one of them just came up and stabbed Mizeki. So can I sidestep? And so if I sidestep, then I can get flanking on one of them. Because one of them's in melee with Mizeki because it stabbed him in the rear.
Yeah, you'd have to sidestep through them though, because
That's
they
fine. I'll take
they've
the
got you in
opportunity
a
attack.
corner basically.
Yeah, I'll take the opportunity attack from one. So I'll circle around the south one. So
Yep.
I'll break with the east one, so he'll get opportunity attack on me, and then I'll get behind him and then attack him with the advantage.
Okay, he gets a 15 to hit on his opportunity attack.
That hits.
Okay, and you will take 5 piercing damage.
And welcome to
Alright.
Flavor Town.
And he takes 5 cold damage.
Okay. And that's the end of your Armor of Agathis, right? It's only 5 points right now.
Yes.
Okay.
I was pressing the wrong push to talk key. Yes, it's only 5 right now, so Armor of Agathis goes away. Hyena life is still all good for now. And then he will chomp at this, the one that hit Mizeki in the rump with advantage. And that will be a 21 to hit.
21 will hit.
And then his damage will be much better this time. So that is an 11 plus 3 is 14.
Okay.
Piercing. Then he will snarl in that Knoll's general direction and pass turn.
Okay. All right. So the elf there behind Sadzi, he is going to, let's see, what does he have? Anything fun? So yeah, now that 2 of them have been hit, he is going to cast Toll the Dead on one of them. So let's go ahead and roll their save. They have a +0. 13. 13 is exactly the save, so nothing happens. Okay.
I
And
just want to reiterate that I'm grievously wounded.
then it is Mizeki's turn.
I just want everyone to be aware.
Uh-huh.
So is there a guy with the spear that stabbed me in the butt?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
and
Stefan's on the other side of him now. So
okay, and I'm going to stab him back. How dare you?
you do have advantage because you're flanking right now. So
Nice. So hopefully, yeah, 15.
15 will hit.
Sneak attack. Sneak attack.
So it does 5 plus 1, of course, 6.
6. Okay.
You rolled 1 on both sneak.
Yeah, my sneak attacks are very frail.
They'll get better with age, right? Eventually.
then-
You're grievously wounded.
I am going to disengage with my bonus action
Okay.
and back up.
Okay. So you want to run down the alley to get past Sadzi.
Yeah. Get like just behind Sadzi, probably.
Okay.
I've got 40 feet, so I can kind of go wherever.
Yeah, that's easy to do because she's only like 10 feet further back than the rest of you. So
I'm just amused that you were flanking and he stabbed you in the flank. That's all.
Yeah.
I mean, wasn't flanking at the time. So, but yeah. All right, Sadzi, it is your turn. So from your position, you can only see one of them, and you see that Mizeki is now running to hide behind you.
I'm not hiding. I'm retreating tactically.
Right.
I'm bleeding. Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever. I'm almost as bad hurt as you. The one that I can see, is he like wounded
Yeah,
or
yeah, he's pretty hurt.
cool? I'm debating between Firebolt and Chill Touch. I like Firebolt. So can I fire on him once again?
Yeah, go for it. Roll to hit.
And I got 23. So
23 will hit. Go ahead and roll your damage.
are you freaking kidding? Oh, 10. It came up 0, and I was like, no damage.
Yeah,
Oh.
0 is a 10 on a d10. So, all right. Yeah, so he goes down. His fur catches on fire, and he begins to try and pat it out. As he does, his body just collapses to the ground. And the hyena next to him just kind of...
Burn.
All right. Anything else, Sadzi?
No, I'm probably good unless you got some marshmallows or something.
Nope. All right. It is the Knoll's turn. The one Knoll that is still next to Ore, confused as he lights up a bit, is just going to try and stab him with the spear again. That's a 19
Ooh, that'll just hit.
for 6 points of piercing damage.
6 damage.
And then versus the hyena, the last Knoll will step up to you again. And then an 18 to hit the hyena
That'll hit.
for 6 piercing damage.
Woof woof or growl.
All right. And then it is Ore and Sephin's turn.
So the one that just stabbed me, I kind of look down at the being stabbed, and I look at him. I'm like, that is very uncomfortable. And I am going to primal savage him as well. 12
12 will miss.
will miss. And then I'm going to Starry Archer form attack him with disadvantage. Oh, natural 1.
That will miss.
That will miss.
Yep.
That was also very uncomfortable for Ore. Yep, that's me.
Okay.
All right. Seth will turn around and growl at this Knoll that just stabbed him. He does not appreciate it. I'll point out I have the HP of like 6 Mizekis right now between the hyena and my normal HP, which is already the highest in the party because Seth is a very durable dwarf. He'll just go ahead and bite. Is there anywhere where he can maneuver? So Mizeki disengaged. I don't think there's anyone near me that I can flank with now.
No.
On this particular Knoll.
Not on this particular Knoll. You just have to run away from this Knoll again, and then you could flank with the one that Ore is attacking.
Yeah, but that takes me away from the grievously wounded members of my party. So I'll interpose myself between this Knoll, Mizeki, Sadzi, and the as of yet unknown elf, and just try and bite this this Knoll normally.
Okay.
And we'll see how it goes. It goes nat 20 Lee. Woo!
All right. That's crit. Go ahead.
So I roll all the dice and do 13 damage. 6, 1, 2, 1. Come on.
That's how it goes sometimes. So 13? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Nope. That'll be it. He'll just growl. He loves growling, lots of growling, because he can't speak in in wild shape form. And then I'll pass
Technically,
turn.
you bark as a hyena, not growl.
Okay. Elandiel is going to rush forward, getting in between Sadzi and the gnolls, and then is going to say, Arenwild be with you, and is going to bless Ore, Mizeki, and Sadzi. So you have been blessed.
Nice.
That is a d4 you can roll on attacks and saving throws. And Mizeki, it is now your turn.
I'm not blessed, right?
You are
I
blessed.
mean, I am blessed. Okay, I am
Yeah.
also blessed.
Yes.
Shortbow time.
Okay.
Ciao.
Oh, but don't forget, he's grievously wounded.
I am.
Yeah, but he's blessed, so it's okay.
I got a total of 10.
That'll
It's
miss.
a very sad day. Being
Even
grievously
with
wounded.
bless?
Yeah, I rolled a 3 on the bless and
Ouch.
a 2 on the shortbow. It's a very sad day to be me.
All right. Sadzi, it is your turn.
I'm gonna hide, by the way.
Okay, yeah, go ahead and give me a stealth roll.
This 7-foot tall centaur that weighs a half a ton
15.
is gonna hide.
Okay. You think you are hidden.
I mean, technically, there's other people in the way.
Yeah.
So, how many gnolls do we have left? And where are they in front of us?
They are in front of you. There are 2 left. You can only see one from your vantage point, though.
Oh shit. Oof. Let's go for Firebolt. It did well last time, right?
Yeah, it did.
Okay. So I roll at whoever's visible.
Okay, go ahead.
So I got a 13, but I get to add what, 1d4 to that?
1d4, yes. So 16? All right, so 16 will hit.
Yeah.
So as you go to fire, or you feel a surge of divine power within you, kind of guiding you, and you make just a slight adjustment before you release your firebolt, and it makes contact.
And does 3 damage.
3 damage. Well, it's a good thing for Bless. It wouldn't have hit without it. So.
At least we singed him a little more.
Yep. All right. So there are just the 2 gnolls left. They are going to. The one that is fighting Ore is going to kind of bulldoze past him, so you can make an attack roll, and he's going to have his spear out and charge towards Sadzi.
I can't do a spell attack as he's running past me. I has to be just a regular.
Not without
attack, correct?
Warcaster.
Yeah, not without the feat, which you're not high enough to have yet.
So I got as a quarterstaff, and I probably should have some other weapons. So I'm going to attack him with my stick. 12.
12 will miss. You're kind of set off foot as he begins to bulldoze past you. Then he gets a 13 to hit Sadzi with his spear.
Sadzi, is he not going past me? Because I try to get in between them.
You're in between the other one and Sadzi. This one is still up further north of you.
Okay.
Yeah, we're on a kind of a road.
Yep.
Let's see. So I have an AC of 13.
So 13 would hit then.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know the spell Shield?
I don't think
I
she
do
does.
not have that.
Okay. So that is 5 piercing damage to you then.
Damn. Pardon me.
It wasn't an advantage or anything, right?
Correct. I did not roll at advantage or anything.
Okay, because don't forget you've got your special. You can also bite people.
All right. And then the second one is going to attack the... I forgot what you are already.
Hyena.
Hyena. Yeah.
Hyena.
Which is basically a gnoll, just on 4 legs instead of 2.
Yes.
That is a 10.
Roll on the left.
Misses.
Miss. Okay. And then it is Ore and Sephin's turn.
All right.
Ore, good news for you. He's no longer in melee to you, so your ranged attacks aren't
yeah.
at disadvantage.
I'm fully aware. So first attack against him is going to be my other guiding bolt racial feature.
Which him
for
is
19.
this?
The one that ran past me and went at Sadzi.
19 will hit.
9 will hit.
You are also
And-
blessed, by the way.
I
So-
am also blessed. You are correct. That's 8 damage.
8 damage. Okay.
Is he still standing?
He is still standing.
He's
You
gonna
rolled
get,
8 damage on a guiding bolt?
Yep. 1 1
like
4 2.
1 and yeah.
Ouch. That's like my crit.
Did the good rolls there. And then yeah, starry form attack on him. That is a okay. One I gotta add D4 to this. 4. Give me 1. Give me a better one. That's 11.
11 will miss.
Doesn't he get advantage off of his own?
Oh, yeah,
bolt?
you get advantage off of your own guiding bolt.
Oh,
You
Good point.
cheater.
very good point. Because it's
Look
the
at this
very
guy.
next attack. Oh yeah.
Advantaging
Oh my gosh,
himself.
I can't roll to save him.
Good catch,
So that's
Rhaegar.
the D4 on this one as well, or did I choose the same D4?
I'll let you re-roll the same d4. It doesn't matter, though. You're not going to hit with a 10.
No. That's a 14.
Yeah, 14 misses.
Those darn shields.
Yep. All right. Sephin.
All right.
Wait,
How-
towards the end of my turn, Sephin is engaged with this other guy.
Yeah, Sephin's engaged with the other one.
Then there's nobody else next to Sephin.
Nobody else next to Sephin.
I'm gonna go put myself in flanking with Sephin to this other guy that he's against.
Okay.
Cool beans. And which Knoll looks more injured? Can I tell? Or do I not?
Well, the other one that, as it ran, it disappeared a bit from your line of sight down the alleyway,
Okay.
so you can't see it anymore.
We're gonna chomp this one in front of us, especially since our buddy Ore is coming to help us.
Go ahead, roll with advantage.
Just as soon as I can find my roller.
Rolla, rolla, rolla.
There we go. Nat 20. Thank you for advantage. That was the second one.
I'm glad I could help.
We'll see if it turns out like the last one.
Please roll better damage. Exactly the same. Well, one more, I think. 11. So that's 14 total.
Okay. He goes down.
Yeah. Now I get to do this cool thing. Hyena cackle. And then we're going to go rampage the other one.
Okay.
So let's run up to that dude with our bonus action. Move half my speed. Will that cover it? Will 25 feet cover it to the next one?
25 feet will cover it. So
Okay.
basically, you go 10 feet to get to where you can turn down the alleyway, and he's 10 feet down the alley.
All right. I love this flanking advantage. Are you kidding me? Another crit. All right. I'll take it.
All right, we found what Sephin's specialty is.
The crits. Hey, 23.
All right.
Rolled good damage for once.
How do you want to do this?
He's just gonna go in there and rip at the dude's leg, the Knoll's leg, and try and kind of put him off balance. He's trying to protect Sadzi first and foremost, and it just hits like his artery or something.
All right. So you, as a hyena, you bite into the abdomen of the first one. Blood dripping down your jaws, tasting it. You feel the rampage of the hyena. You go running down the alley, charging towards the other one, leap up onto him, biting him in the leg as you go, and you just rip a huge chunk out of his leg, and he lies motionless underneath you.
Then Hyena Seth starts doing the hyena cackle, and it's a little bit disconcerting for others. And then maybe like a little bit too long. And then he stops and looks around and starts trying to speak, but he's obviously in wild shape form, so it just comes out as like barks. And that's his turn.
All right. So that is the end. You have slayed the 5 gnolls that are around here. the four of you look around, and there is this elf now in your group who has come over to assist.
I am grievously wounded, as is Sadzi. Can you help us? And then perhaps we can secure others.
As you say this, Ore starts walking way back towards you both. Which one looks more hurt?
I mean, that depends. I'm much
Me?
larger than Sadzi is, but Sadzi's significantly more hurt than I am.
I'm down to 2 HP.
I'm only at 4.
I will cure wounds on Sadzi.
All right. And the elf will come over and will cure wounds on Mizeki.
That's 7 points to you.
And
Sadzi.
that's 6 points to Mizeki.
I am no longer grievously wounded.
Thank you very much.
That's like all your life.
Yeah, that was like all your life in one go.
There's one more than the damage I took. Okay.
Yeah. Maybe you should, you know,
I'm
learn to survive
sticking
better.
Sticking by my morals. To be fair, I kicked a dude the junk, so.
All right.
So I say to the elf, thank you for your assistance, and I will make my way back to the big open courtyard area and see if I can lend any other assistance to anybody out there.
Yeah, how does the other like battlefields go? We saw about 20. We took out 5. What are the other ones looking like?
So you head your way back. The elf follows along with you as you go, and you survey the area, and it seems to have calmed down a bit. You notice standing in the center of the area, just kind of looking around, a dwarf wearing spiked armor. You recognize him?
Hey, it's Tessic.
Yay!
I'm gonna go up to him and I will. I'm actually not gonna leave my form yet. I guess I am no longer covered in frost/snow, but with the wards kind of showing up and the mage armor, Tessic will probably get that it's me. So
Well, and
gonna walk up
I'm
to him.
with you. Then he knows me.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, and the giant sneaky horse man.
Stealth horse.
And I'm still walking around as a fairly dark silhouette with very bright hinges and joints connected with I'm walking constellation still
Okay.
currently.
I'm gonna be following behind this motley group and trying to watch kind of to the sides and behind just in case.
You should climb up on the buildings. Just saying.
All right. As you approach, Thessic calls out and goes, Mizeki. And I'm guessing the hyena is Sephin?
It is. We got attacked by a bunch of gnolls, and I was grievously wounded. Thankfully, we defeated them.
Good.
The hyena will nod its head. Yes.
And he'll look around and go, the golden shields have gotten the counselors to safety, and we are
Excellent.
now defending the city and taking out the gnolls.
Do we know at all why they attacked yet? Any demands? Anything beyond some sort of name?
We've taken one of them alive so far. We'll be interrogating them to find out. But their chant was their city. And we know that there's been a bit of tension, especially in the wilds. They have 2 counselors, both tabaxi. The other races there feel it unfair.
At this point, Zephin will morph back into dwarven form. And at first, just nod his head and wait for his turn, since Mizeki and Thessic are still talking, but he has some questions for Thessic.
Did you have anything else to say, Mizeki?
No.
Then-
Beyond just we should find others and make sure they're safe.
Then I think, Sephin, you're up.
All right. Thessic, it is grand to see you well.
It's good to see you, Sephin. I was looking for you before all this thing broke out. How you
Yes.
handling it?
Sorry, go ahead.
How are you handling it?
The The battle was thrilling, I must say. All of the training came together, and it was as if all of the forms that we learned under the mountain, as well as the wild shape, I saw the true power unleashed. And he has this glint in his eye. It's not crazed, but you can just tell, like, he's proud of what just happened, right?
A
But
touch
he's not saying it.
bloodlusty.
Thessic smiles and he goes, "Good, good. We might make a warrior out of you yet." And
Seth will clap his hand on Thessic's back, very, very forcefully, similar to the first time that Thessic tried to basically knock Seth on the ground when they greeted. He understands this is the kind of like barbarian's honor code of strength, and then we'll ask why he was looking for Zephin.
he'll go, "Well, I was looking for you so that I could give you your coin to enjoy the festival with." And he'll pull out a pouch and hand it over to you.
Zephin will smile broadly, because even though me as a player, I said that in jest earlier, he was a little miffed that he didn't get anything from his counselor. Not jealous of Mizeki, but more so like a fairness thing. Zeph is all about fairness. And he's like, wait, I also made this long trek, so he's very happy to receive this gold, and he will thank Thessic and put it in his pocket and say, but there is much more grave matters at hand now. What would you counsel us to do, Thessic?
Well, the Golden Shields will secure the city, and once we are done, the festival will resume. And I say enjoy yourself, and just be wary. Keep an eye out.
Counselor Coppercloak, she is safe?
She isn't safe. She is with Emily right now.
Grand. And then he'll turn back to the rest of the party, just kind of expectantly, and pat Thessic on the back again.
Are you trying to steal a coin from Sephin?
No, he's just playing with his stuff.
I
It's
just
part of his character. He constantly like pulls things out and messes around with them in his hands.
I just saw that pop up. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, random sleight of hand check. Don't mind me.
As
So basically, he just has fidget toys.
Yes.
as Stefan turns around, I concur and say to him, it was impressive to see you in battle, and still in the starry form, that voice is very like tinny, echoey.
Sephin will bow to Ore and say, likewise, I see that you harness the power of the stars, while I harness the power of the moon. We make quite the pair.
I return the bow, and then I kind of start observing like the shape, and I'm like, it was instinct, and like almost in a kind of confused tone.
So, how long can you be Starbot?
It feels like it is ending shortly, and I'm assuming the 10 minutes is up since I turned into this.
It hasn't been too long.
Yeah,
It hasn't been too
the
long.
fight was less than a minute.
Yeah.
Well, I know, but like walking back and kind of regrouping, I would figure a few minutes have gone by.
Yeah.
Discussion.
You still probably have another couple minutes of it.
So
Does
yeah,
it
Ore,
does it like
Ore
light
says
up
that.
the area? Can we use
It
him
does.
as
There's
a
like a 10-foot
disco ball?
Yeah,
There's
it's
like 10 foot of light.
10-foot bright light, 10-foot dim light. Beyond that,
It'd be
Nice.
fascinating to see this in a small room in the dark. Perhaps as a display of the stars.
I would
Mizeki
concur.
is scheming.
Ore is not scheming. He does not concur with the scheme.
So I guess if the Golden Shields are going to take care of stuff, we'll maybe check around our area and make sure if anybody's hurt or anything. But if not, party time.
This is still fairly early in the morning, right? Like midday, not even quite midday.
it's not even midday yet.
Not even midday yet.
Yeah,
We chatted in the end, stepped out, hit some people in the crowds, and then just like boom, threw down. It's probably like 10 a.m. or something.
it's like 9:20.
But it was rainy though, so it's fairly cloudy, kind of a
So
overcast day.
we
No,
could go for
it
brunch.
rained in the night. It is not overcast today.
Oh, I thought in the morning it was still like light rain, fresh rain.
Fresh rain because it rained the previous night.
Gotcha. I see.
So the smell of
It's
fresh rain.
it's still early,
Understood.
but do you think anyone has the alcohol open yet?
Seth will pat Mizeki on the back, try not to be as forceful as with Thesic, and say, "My friend, it is much too early for that. Perhaps now would be a good time to visit the library."
Well, is it far?
It is not far. And Ore looks kind of around a little bit, trying to take in his bearings before he actually knows which direction to go.
Okay, you
I
want?
believe it is this way.
I'm gonna look for a juice cart, not necessarily alcohol, but like fruit juice or something refreshing.
Okay. So right now there are a few carts out, but none of them are open given the attack that just happened.
That
Um,
doesn't bother me.
Do
So
they have juice in them for Mizeki?
Yeah, like
Eh.
it's
They
irrelevant
get
if
uttered
they're
super
open.
fast the moment like the attack broke out.
so
Capri Sun is just closed down.
yeah. So
Do
yeah.
they look like they sell juice? Even if they're not
So
open, that's okay.
there are a few as you make your way through the city. That look like they would sell drinks of some kind.
So, is it locked?
It is.
Okay, I can fix that. I would like to open the juice cart and get some juice and pay for it.
Okay. Go ahead and give me a check with your thieves tools.
Is that just a dex proficiency, I guess?
Yeah.
And I don't, so that would be the same as my stealth check. Okay.
8.
8.
You fail to pick the lock.
That's really sad.
So you're not sure what it
I'm
is
gonna
about
just-
it, but you
Can I
can't,
just take a minute at it?
you
You
can't
take my
quite get it
15.
open.
All he wanted was some juice, man.
Yeah, can I just spend a minute or so at
Mhm.
it, messing with it, and take my 15?
Mm.
Is that enough, or
So
because I'm
Uh,
not like stressed or anything?
Trying to steal juice.
Well, I mean, I'm stressed, but no one's attacking me.
yeah. So you want to take the 10 minutes to spend on it?
Is it 10 whole minutes? Jeez, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
why
Yeah.
not?
That's what the take 10 is. It's you spend 10 minutes examining
Sure.
everything and going
That's
on it.
fine.
And so everybody else is just cool watching him pick this.
I'm going to deception that I'm actually just going through it and making the drinks while I do this.
I'm probably going to be tisking behind him.
It's a 20.
Ore has stopped being shiny and is looking down the different roads, kind of getting his bearings still, ensuring
So-
which way to go.
I got a 20 to pretend that I'm not trying to break into the cart, you know? I'm preparing things and it's a little stuck.
Yeah, Seth will be kind of like patrolling the square while they're doing that.
Okay.
Also, I did very clearly take out some money and put it on the counter first. Like, I
Oh.
want it to be clear I'm not stealing this. I just want some juice.
Okay. So yeah, you take the 10 minutes, and eventually you're able to get that lock open.
Yay.
Around this time, as you open it and you pull out your juice, you hear a booming voice coming throughout the city again, and it is the same voice earlier in the day. And Marble goes, "Well, that was a first. The city has been cleared, and the festival will be starting up again momentarily. Thank you all who fought for us. We appreciate your service. Enjoy the festival. And again, remember, look for myself, Rorgo, or Gilkos today if you have any questions about the festival."
Wild. Mizeki's gonna drink his juice. Sefin probably knows, but it's very culturally important to the Utran people to like have drinks of some kind, some sort of liquid, because they're from a desert.
Yeah.
And so he's got his juice, and he's like, "Oh, that was crazy. I hope that no uninvolved gnolls were harmed during the events. Onward to the library."
Stefan will come over and get a juice as well while it's open and put the appropriate coin down just to show solidarity with his buddy.
This dude's gonna come back and be so confused. Someone bought juice.
He'll actually take the coins from the top and put them inside the juice cart too. So when the guy opens it up, he'll see the coins and the missing juice at
Good
the same
plan.
time. And some vagrant can't come steal our coins.
Some vagrant named Ore just snatch those coins right off him.
The Star Druid was the thief all along.
He is a klepto all day. He's made of stolen parts. That's all he is. He's the repo man.
All right.
Yeah, I think to the library now.
I don't have anything else I need. I got my juice.
All right, follow me, and I proceed on.
Okay. So as you begin leading the way through the city towards the library, you notice that several of the carts and shops begin to open up. There are a few games of chance that have begun to open up, and the city seems to be back to normal. This disturbance was handled. What you do notice is that none of the counselors are out and about other than Marble, Rogo, and Gilkos, and they all are surrounded by 3 people at any time.
So it's very clear Mizeki wants to play the games of chance, but they're currently on a bit of a quest to the library, and he wants to go to the library too. So he will watch them as they go by, though.
Okay.
Seth doesn't really have much interest in the games of chance at this time. He just kind of wants to get to the library and see what's up with that weird vision we had this morning in our dreams.
Well, they're not using pine cones, so Stefan doesn't know what's going on, right?
Yeah.
All right. So, Ore, you lead them through the city out of the residential district to the edge of the temple district. And that is where you find the library. It is this massive domed building. It's about 600 feet long by about 300 feet deep. As you enter in through the glass doors, this marble dome, you see that there are spiraling staircases that just go down on either side.
Welcome to the Iotopia Society's Hall of Records. Histories are down this stairwell, and I believe existential studies are down this way. I believe visions would fall under existential studies.
What about learning how to kill something? Like a certain type of
How
creature.
that would be, I would believe, more into nature, and he points further down to like another stairwell.
Uh, I've heard of a type of creature, a dampier, that has been seen occasionally in the wild, and I should like to learn how to deal with it should it ever come near my family's village.
Yes, any information that may pertain to that would be in those halls that way.
Okay, thank you.
Not a problem. Would you like accompaniment? I can have an attendant follow you.
Didn't Mizeki and Stefan ask for your help?
I was going to go with them, but if you want someone to go with you to help find whichever documents you are looking for. And then Ore's looking around for like another one of the library attendants to get the attention.
If you know where I can find those specific documents, then sure, I guess. Or if you'd rather work with Stefan and Mazeki, then I'll take the help of a library guide if they're available.
Of course. Or if you would prefer to go with us, and then we can go with you, we could do this in 2 stages.
There's no reason for my hunt for information to hold everybody else back.
Understood.
Sounded like they were quite unnerved this morning.
Understood. And he waves over just whatever attendant is off to the side to come help.
Okay. So it doesn't take too long, but eventually a human comes over and greets you. Hello, what can I do for you?
My friend Sadzi here is looking for some information about Dampier, and he looks back at you. That is what you were looking for?
Yes.
I believe in the nature section she might find books on the Dampier. Would you assist her in finding what she is looking for?
Yeah, we can definitely lead you to some books. Um, wouldn't you all rather be out enjoying the festival now that it is going again?
Well, we figured we'd give him a little time to really get going.
All right, well, you definitely won't want to miss it, I assure you of that. But if you will follow me, I will lead you to our books on Dampiers. Interesting subject.
Thank you. And yes, they've been seen sometimes near where my family lives, and I wanted to know how to deal with them, as I told Orrery.
Okay.
And I turn back to Mazeki and Sefin. Follow me. We will see you shortly. And I say that to Sadzi. And then I lead them towards the existential wing, which may or may not be there.
I want to look for stuff about the river as well later, but that can come afterwards.
Okay.
As we search for info on either this wizard or about the dreams and visions, do you want us to roll anything?
So who are you looking for information on?
I think originally, this was so long ago, but I think we were originally here about just the dreams and visions in general, the phenomenon, and I think Mazeki had a lead.
And then Pedro was also the
Yeah.
arcane god we added as a lead.
Okay.
Pedro the Arcane.
So you want to look for information about Pedro?
As well as possibly shared dreams or prophetic dreams.
Yeah, preferably like the
Yeah.
two linked. Let's look for Pedro first, like info on him as a god, since we don't know much about him, it seems.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, is like influencing dreams part of
Cross-reference.
his domain. Yeah.
Okay. So, you search around for a while. Eventually, you do find a book on Pedro the Arcane. So, what you learn is that Pedro is a high elf and is the god of arcane magic. If there is anything arcane, Pedro knows of it.
Okay.
There,
Include manipulating dreams.
including, you don't find anything about shared dreams in there. It doesn't specifically talk anything about dreams in his book. It does talk about how they are the champion of many archmages, and there have been even several archmages who have studied under Pedro themselves.
Nice.
Do we have like a whereabouts or where his followers located in the world? Maybe if it's close, we go visit them.
So there are temples all over the place. There is a temple to Pedro here in Drusus, but most likely you're going to find the largest temples to Pedril on the island of Delistar, which is the Elven nation.
All right. I'll talk in character. Seth will turn to Mizeki. Perhaps today, that's the wrong accent. Perhaps today we enjoy the festival, and tomorrow and the days to come we pursue this god of the arcane.
Yes, the festival is only today, after all. A much more worthy spend of time if we don't come across immediate answers.
I concur. The library will continue to be here, as far as I am aware.
Shall we go and find the tabaxi? Saji, was it?
Yes, I can fetch her if you two would like to join the festivities. We should join you shortly.
Splitting the party.
I'm really good
Seth,
at it.
Seth will
Sounds
look
like
at
a
Mizeki.
wonderful idea. I would love to get back to the festivities, and hopefully the food is open now.
Before Ore runs off, Seth will suggest that we go play some dice, since Mizeki seemed to enjoy that, and meet out at those carts once you've um, met with Sadzi.
Understood. We will meet you along the gaming hall, corridor.
Now, who knows if that's what's actually going to happen? Because Seth didn't talk to Mizeki before talking to Ore, so it could be one of those like lost in the mall with your family type things. But hey, we're gonna try it out.
We'll see how it
I mean,
goes.
At the
We'll meet
worst
you near the
case,
Orange Julius,
yeah.
so we'll meet you at the food
yeah,
court.
we'll be at the Orange Julius at 2.
And they're never there.
Orange Julius
I
isn't on the food court.
I said Orange Julius, not Cinnabon.
They went to this. The Cinnabon was having Orange Julius drinks. It was great.
I wasn't listening. I went to hot dog on a stick.
Oh, now I want some
Spoilers.
Nathan's, man.
All right, Sadzi. So you are led down by this human. He has black hair, and he introduces himself as Cole. As he leads you down, he goes, "Just curious what your interest in Dhampir is."
Oh, I need to know how to fight them, just in case. Hunter must always be prepared, you know.
True.
My interests are murder.
Not a fighter myself, so I know you take the pointy end of whatever you've got and you point it away from you. But other than that, I don't know.
Well, that's step one.
And what's step 2?
Figure out what you're putting the pointy end into.
Oh, that would make sense. That would make sense. And as he leads you down, you go down one level, and then another, and then another, arriving on 3 levels below ground. And he leads you into the back, and he pulls out this old, dark book. And it's kind of tattered and torn. And he sets it down on a table, and he goes, "Here you go. Everything we have on Dhampir is in that book."
Oh, just the one book.
It's all we have.
I see. Thank you. Can I take this upstairs, perhaps? It's a little dank down here and dark. Meanwhile, my fur's twitching.
Unfortunately, we prefer all of the books to stay on the level where they are organized. It makes putting them away much easier. Our books also do not leave the library.
I see. Right. Well, I suppose if there's no better lit place, then can look at it here. Thank you for showing me the book.
Yeah, and it's not poorly lit down here. The book itself is dark.
And there's something weird about going in the basement of the library.
They would have like reading nooks, wouldn't they? Like little
Several basements.
Yeah,
tables to
well.
be able to sit down.
yeah. This place, there was another level even below where you are. It is
I'm just rem-
massive.
I'm just remembering like the libraries that I was in as a kid and how like kind of off-putting their basements were. So
Dark, dusty catacombs of books.
kinda, yeah, and you might have to reach behind a pipe or two to get to the shelf you needed.
Yeah, you don't have any of those issues here. So it's
Well,
fairly well kept here. Um, even these basements are nicer than where you grew up.
alright. Well, then I will open the book on the table and start looking to see if there's any organization to it or if it's just literally a collection of different people's notes. And if it is, I'll start skimming through it.
So it is a collection of several different authors and notes and encounters and letters about people's encounters with Dampier.
Okay. Then yeah, I'll probably page through it and start looking for things like hunting.
Okay. So as you flip through it, you notice about 3/4 of the way through the book, as you're just kind of flipping through it, trying to find anything that's directing towards hunting, there is several pages that are ripped out and are missing.
And now it's your fault.
Honestly, I'd probably pick the book up and very, very gently kind of flip through the pages to see if there's anything that might have been tucked into the back. Like
Okay.
somebody ripped them out and tucked them back in.
All right. So there aren't any pages tucked into the back as you kind of turn it over. No pages shake out. Um, you look back towards the front of the book to see if there's any kind of uh, index, anything there. There's not a lot of information. Um, as you begin to read through, you're not finding anything on hunting, but as you read the pages before and after, or that, you notice that they're talking a lot about where Dampiers can be found. And
Mhm.
so your best guess is that these pages that have been ripped out probably went into great detail of a nest that someone didn't want to be found.
Hmm. Is there any particular odor coming from the book, like the way uh the cover or the pages were made? Like, could I sniff them out? Like,
Um,
sniff around the general area?
yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
19.
Okay. So it's got obviously a very strong smell of paper, and it's got a faint smell of mildew just from how old it is. But you pick up a faint smell on a few of the pages, a smell that you've become quite familiar with over the last few months. A smell that you became accustomed to one night that you now carry with you.
All of my fur will stand up on the back of my neck. And I'll probably hiss slightly under my breath.
This book has clearly been touched
Mm,
by
by
a
a
Dampier.
Dampier. I'll probably, like, whirl around. Like, even though I know it's obvious there's not gonna be a Dampier right behind me, still. Bad memories.
Or is there?
That was actually the first sentence of where you can find Dampier behind you.
That's the whole page that was torn out. That's why they did it. There's always a Dampier behind you. I wrote that out so people
Does
wouldn't
this
know.
library have any notion of like who checked out or used a book?
No.
Anarchy.
I
Well, books don't get checked out, so.
Yeah, there's no
I'd
checkout.
probably start sniffing around to see if I smell any more Dampier touched books and see if maybe there's something else that could give me an idea of what they're interested in.
Okay. You sniff
that's-
around the immediate area and the shelves that this book came from, and you can smell it on the shelves, but none of the other books give off the smell. So it's likely just as it was finding this book, it left just a little bit of its scent behind.
I imagine Cole is like standing 20 feet away from you, like patiently waiting on you, and you start sniffing the bookshelves, and he's like, okay.
Hey, I'm probably not the weirdest thing he's ever seen, okay?
Ma'am, please don't snort the books.
Everybody's got a kink.
No comment. Anywho. So I'm annoyed and a little furious, but I figure I might as well see what was around the pages that were torn out. Especially like after it, since I haven't read up to that point. And I'm still gonna keep looking to see if there's anything, since I know the group would would come back to meet me.
Okay. Yeah, so as you are reading through this book, Ore makes his way over to you. And you read past that, and there's not much information on hunting and killing Dampier in this book. It mostly seems to be where they are and just so people can avoid them, and kind of how to tell if someone is a Dampier or not.
Yeah, the very next words on the following page that had been ripped out is, and that is the best way we have found to wipe out the Dampier.
Nope.
10 ways you might be a Dampier if.
So as Ore approaches, he approaches kind of quietly and like lets you finish reading what you're doing until you kind of look up at him.
Oh, hi Ori.
Hello. Did you find what you were looking for?
Well, they showed me the one item in their collection that appears to have any information, but didn't quite get the info I was looking for. Oh well.
I am sorry. Unfortunately, Hall of Records is an archive. Any books that have been discovered or recovered are usually turned in here. Collections on some information is very incomplete, unfortunately. Whenever you are ready, I'm here to escort you to Mizeki and Sefin. They have decided to take their chances on those games of chance that we passed on our way here.
I'm a little concerned to hear that, considering how Mizeki was with that cart. Perhaps we'd better go find them before they start an incident.
Excuse me, I paid for it.
Mm-hmm. You broke into the cart. Push.
Understood. I did not understand that their behavior was without. I have seen many individuals spend hours along that corridor. But if you feel it is urgent, we may hurry.
I don't necessarily think it's urgent, but it'd probably be a good idea not to tarry.
Understood. Where
Let's
did you?
go.
Where do we need to return this book to the shelf?
Should be the shelf just right over there.
Oh,
And she
I
points,
see the space. And he'll like reach out for the book,
and I'd hand it to him.
and he will put it back on the shelf. Let us be on our way, and then starts walking away.
Sadzi follows, but casts a glance back at the book that he just reshelved.
All right. You head out of the library. So, Sefin and Mizeki, you guys have left the library already, heading into town for more of the games of chance. By this point, after your studies, you are starting to feel hungry as it's getting into afternoon.
Zeki always feels hungry, so he's definitely going to attempt to ask people around, anyone that looks like they might enjoy food or are attractive. He's going to ask them where they recommend they should eat.
You're very attractive. Where do you eat your food?
Exactly.
Where do you get your food from? So you can smell all sorts of food being cooked all over the city at this point. Um, your nose can take you in any direction. And as you ask a few people, well, they go, well, it's a festival, so you can find food from anywhere, really. What are you looking for?
Something delicious. Don't tell me that. Everybody has the favorite.
Everybody does have a favorite.
I
What's
want
your
to know
favorite?
someone's favorite. I want to know someone else's favorite. I'm here to experience.
And he goes, well, oh, you know what I hear is really, really good. So on the Isle of Delistar, there is this tree that is said to give the most finest of syrups. And they bring that here and they put it on a nice piece of toast. You can find that, about a 6-7 blocks in that direction. And they point you off towards the south.
Excellent. Thank you kindly. Keep up, Stefan. And he's going to start going. He might stop along the way, or if Stefan falls too far behind.
Sefin will. Is Mizeki just walking? Because if Sefin runs,
Yeah,
he can catch
he's
up.
he's
But
not sprinting. No, he's just he's not
okay,
gonna
so
book it.
Sefin resumes being a bowling ball. But he has noticed from the day that people usually say sorry or something like that when they bump into each other. So he's just like bumping into people, hitting their arms, knocks over a child here or there, and is like, sorry, excuse me, sorry, and just like trying to catch up with the centaur. There's probably a wake behind Mizeki since he's so huge. So it's not like constant like it was before. He's just trying to basically walk directly behind Mizeki.
All right. Is there anything else that you are looking for or want to take part of in the festival?
Anyone
Uh,
having fun?
There's
Yeah.
plenty of people having fun,
Yeah,
all sorts of
anyone
fun.
visibly having fun? I'm all about having fun. Mizeki is here to enjoy a festival.
All right. So every about 1.5 steps, you notice somebody just wildly having fun.
Excellent. So his goal right now is food,
Okay.
but he'll definitely be noting things to come back to.
Yeah. So it definitely seems that everybody seems to be having a lot of fun. This city is massive. And it seems the festival to go along with it. So anything you can think of to do for fun, you can probably find here. Whether it's sanctioned by the festival or not is a different question.
So
I'm
in
kind
that
of
case,
envisioning us kind of like
yeah.
if you've ever been to a concert, right? There's people
Yeah.
everywhere and like it's blaring and you just can't really hear anything. Like Seth is trying to catch up to Mizeki and he's saying things like, Mizeki, shouldn't we wait for the others? And Mizeki just keeps going to the party and Sefin just keeping following him.
At the very worst case, we'll find them at the end. But yeah, Mizeki's main focus then will be things he couldn't do elsewhere. So things from foreign nations, things he's never heard of or might not have seen before.
Okay. So after you get your food, this food cart happens to be next to the meeting point where you told Ore. It's just convenient how that works. When the DM
It's
says so.
truly a start.
And as you are there enjoying your food, and it's not really toast like you're used to. Like you think of toast as bread that has been cooked again. This is more of a pastry that is fried that they cover with this syrup.
Is it funnel cake?
No, it's like a
Oh.
scone.
Scones. Yeah.
Ooh.
So, and you know, an
Oh.
American scone, not a British scone, for anybody out there in the UK watching. So,
Wait, there's a difference?
yeah, their scones are more like our biscuits.
Don't even get me started on the namespace collision debacle we have with the UK on crackers and biscuits and chips and scones.
Wait,
And
what
cookies.
the
I know.
hell's- What
And
the hell is
cookies.
an American scone? I've never heard of this before.
You've never had a scone?
Oh, okay.
No,
I
but
have. I just didn't know that these are both called scones. I've had both of these separately.
yeah, I guess I didn't realize that they were separate. I thought they were just more of like a preference thing, whether you wanted them kind of sweet or savory.
I mean, you can still get sweet and savory ones fried in America. That's how we do it, fried.
Everything in America's fried.
Yep.
Everything in America's fried.
And pretty much
Ice cream, cheesecake.
you can find anything
Oreos.
fried here at the festival today.
You like PB&J? Have you tried fried PB&J?
So are you telling us we're in like the Texas State Fair of Valade right now?
Sure. Texas State Fair. I was thinking more like what is it called? The World Festival that happens.
This is both the World Festival and Renaissance Fair and Texas State Fair all together.
Yeah. It's
Or-
all the fairs at once.
So there are people probably walking around with devil horns non-ironically,
Hmm.
wearing corsets over their clothing, and
Yeah, but they prefer to go by tiefling, and they don't
Yeah,
wear
good
them as
question.
more as it is part of them.
Do races cosplay as other races? Or is that frowned upon?
Well, I mean, there's one race that always cosplays as other races. So,
Changelings?
yeah, changelings.
I imagine there's a lot of people dressed like the Kingslayer.
There are a few.
Yeah.
So.
that would make sense.
People are just like walking around like, dude, sick Kingslayer costume, man.
All right.
I like that one guy who's like, that Kingslayer outfit isn't correct. You're missing this particular strap along this side here.
And that sword is just the complete wrong time period. They didn't invent that grip.
If you'd like to be period accurate, this would have an embellishment along this edge here.
Man, I'm glad we left those two behind at the library.
That's
All right.
the next character I'm playing. That's the voice I'm using the whole time.
How long ago was the Kingslayer? It was like 1,000 years ago, right?
It was
Oh, like that
600
sucks
years
anybody.
ago, roughly.
Got it.
So.
Seriously, the true authenticity nerds, 600 years. There's still
According-
documentation for it.
According to the new review, it is 587 years. Thank you.
Okay. So,
There you
Mizeki, you said you want to find things that are more foreign to you to try out.
Yes.
So, as you ask about that, you are informed that at about 3 o'clock in the city center, there will be a presentation from one of the artificers from the War God's Fury, which is actually on the continent of Manway, so a completely different continent from where you are. They visit for the festival occasionally to show off their new wares.
That sounds awesome. Let's go to that. We can get more food along the way.
That is still a couple hours away from here, but you do get the heads up that that is happening.
We could just have second lunch. It's fine.
Yeah, we can just eat slowly. It's fine.
Seth
You
is
did say-
totally down with second lunch.
It
Second
doesn't have
lunch.
to
You
be
did say
second
Ori
lunch if you're
and
still on
Sadzi
first.
showed up, right?
Say what?
Did you guys?
I think we're still separated right now.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys are enjoying your lunch, and as you do,
Yeah.
eventually Ore and Sadzi show up as you are eating your scones. We got on the scone sidetrack, and I forgot to say that they showed up.
It's still totally the mall thing. Like you guys thought we are gonna be at that gambling cart, and you had to like walk halfway across the city to find us.
Hey,
The orange
someone told
Julius
me
on the
about
other
delicious
side.
syrup. Not my fault. So, having gathered the others, I guess we'll I want to look for some sort of game of chance or something.
Okay.
Are there any younger people here, like kids and stuff, or teens, or anything like that?
Yeah, there are all sorts of kids and teens running around.
Cool. I
We
want
could
to
do a
find
magic show.
I want to find a thing. Yeah, something like that younger people would enjoy, or like a tossing game or a magic show or something like that.
Yeah, so there is like a ring toss game that you can find. There's also axe throwing. There's archery.
I
So
wanna
there's
destroy the
there's
ring
skill
toss.
games and there's just like games of chance as well. So
I want to destroy the ring toss game.
all right. So you
Yeah,
want to
the
do ring
moment-
toss? Okay.
You want no?
The moment,
Do you mean
the moment
Ju-
Ellery sees like strongman, like sledgehammer slings and ring toss and like archery stuff, he's fascinated with trying all of those.
Okay. So who all wants to participate in the ring toss? I've heard that a couple times.
does Mizeki mean literally destroy it, or like figuratively, like just
No,
do
like,
really well at it?
metaphorically.
Okay.
He doesn't have anything against ring toss games.
This centaur just comes in and
How dare
jumps over the
you!
ring toss with his hindquarters.
600 pounds of man crashing through the
He
booth.
just gathers up all the rings and he's like, "You're free," and he throws them into the fairway.
He just bowls it over. You don't know what it was like. He has bad memories of the ring toss game of being ridiculed as a fool.
Okay.
That
So
would be more
Enslaved
hilarious
by
with like
rings.
horseshoe.
so Mizeki is participating in ring toss. Anybody else?
Ore will participate in ring toss.
Okay.
Sure, Seth will too.
Seth will too.
I imagine Mizeki convinces Seth to participate regardless of his feelings on it.
And what about Sadzi?
Kazi's trying to watch her coin, so she steps back to watch them
Okay.
and quietly makes bets to herself on who's going to win.
Okay. So each entry in the ring toss is 5 copper. And for all of your food so far that you guys have eaten today, just mark off a silver.
All right.
How much did we get paid?
Yeah, you guys never opened it to look, so I never told you.
You
So,
would probably check.
so you open it and you count out 50 gold.
That's a lot of money. Okay.
That
Ore
is
does
double
not
the money that I
participate.
had.
Ori does not intake any of the food, but every time someone gets something to enjoy, he like his eyes kind of like zoom in a little bit on and just kind of watch the individual eat. He's just fascinated when people eat.
Okay.
Because he does not need to eat.
All right. So for those of you participating in the ring toss, I need you first to make a dexterity check for me. Just straight dexterity.
Just straight dex.
17 for me.
22.
I got a 2.
All right. So
He punches himself in the face.
Ore, go ahead and roll a D100 plus 15. Mizeki, roll a D100 plus 20. And Sefin, just roll a D100.
That would be 55 for me.
Okay.
73.
15 plus, what was it, 20?
Yeah.
A horrible 35.
Okay. So, Mizeki, you toss, and you hit one of the tops of the rings, but the ring hits and it bounces around, and it doesn't land on any of them. And same thing for you, Ore. You toss it. Um, but by all means, um, Sefin. Sorry, Ore was the other one that failed. Sefin, you just kind of chuck yours, not caring, not even being dexterous about it with your two. But you managed to get a ringer.
I want to paint the picture real quick. Before this, Mizeki was hyping this game up. Can you guys hear me? I
Yeah.
think echo.
Yeah.
Mizeki was hyping the game up, and Seth was kind of being a curmudgeon about it. He's like, whatever, this game is for children. And then we get there, and they're hyped, and they throw it, and they totally miss, and Seth just kind of like takes his and is like totally nonchalant, like, just like chucks it. And then when it lands, he's like, I did it! Yeah! He's like raising his arm and
The
kinda, like,
best
patting people on the
around.
back.
Okay. So you
Fonzie's probably laughing her tail off.
you win a small prize, which is just basically a refund on your 5 copper pieces, with your 73 on your D100.
Better
So,
than a slap in the face.
yeah. Whereas Mizeki and Ore have lost their 5 copper.
I'm going again.
Okay. Do the same. So dexterity check first.
12.
I will also go again.
Okay. So Mizeki with your 12, roll a D100 plus 5. And-
Seth is going to stop while he's at it.
98.
All right. And Ore with your 10, roll a D100 plus 5. Mizeki with your 98, you win a large prize, which is
Yeah.
a copper piece. Or not a copper piece, a gold piece.
I am a large prize.
48.
Okay. With your 43, because it's only plus 5. Yeah, so with your 43, again, you kind of toss it and the ring just bounces. It doesn't land on anything. So,
Very quietly under his Ore says, I believe this game is rigged.
I would like to point out I have made 8 silver profit today.
I have spent 1 silver to eat, which is about par for the course.
Yeah, I have earned 8 silver, including the eating.
Nice. I do love the businessman slant for Mizeki. I nominated Mizeki for inspiration for using them, but that's his whole backstory.
It is.
you nominate Mizeki for inspiration.
So, we've successfully ring tossed. I have asserted my dominance.
Uh huh. It took you a bit, but you got
It
there.
only took 2 tries.
Yeah.
And the first one, clearly Stefan was cheating. He clearly played this as a child.
Warm up. He needed a warm up.
I was grievously wounded earlier. I was still recovering.
Seth just doesn't say anything and just smiles.
All right.
We gotta go to the thing, right? And
There-
we're gonna also always be asking around if there's other stuff to do, like that's really
Oh
exciting.
yeah, the 3 o'clock thing you're talking about.
Yeah, we gotta go to that eventually. We'll probably make our way over that way so we don't like have to rush at the last minute. You know,
That was food, right? It was a culinary experience.
I think it. I don't know if it was culinary or if it was like new mechanic stuff.
What other games are still around? Other little feats of skill? Not
There-
this rigged.
Yeah, so
ring
so
toss.
so there's all sorts of skill things. So there's darts, there is axe throwing, there is archery, there is strength contests, there's arm wrestling. So like, what are you looking for, Ore?
Probably axe throwing and archery sound really good to Ore.
Okay. So axe throwing is 1 silver entry,
1 silver.
and so is archery.
Let's do axe throwing first.
Okay.
Seth will join in on X throwing too with Ore.
Okay, so axe throwing is going to be a strength check. If you're proficient with axes, you can add your proficiency bonus because it is an attack roll.
I am not proficient with axes, but I did get a natural 20.
I got a 3.
All right, so Ore, you take your hand axe and you just kind of both hands over your head, and you watch a few of the other people by your side go, and you calculated in, throwing it down, and it splits the axe that is in there already, and then splits the board in half, and everything just kind of goes falling to the ground. Uh, and everybody just kind of looks at you. There's lots of applause going on as everybody that's watching is there, but the person running the attraction just kind of looks at you like, you didn't need to throw it that hard, man. We've got a limited number of
so I-
these.
I kind of look back at him. Is that a success?
He goes, yeah, here you go. And he hands you a pouch of 5 gold.
A pouch of 5 gold.
Yep. Like, that is the best performance they have had all day. Whereas, Sefin, you, kind of astonished by this, throw your axe, and it only goes about 10 feet down the 20 feet stretch before the target, before it just kind of crashes into the ground and slides.
Seth is just gonna look around, pretend that didn't happen, and walk away.
Anybody else axe throwing?
I just noticed that because there's a comma in crossbow hand, it says I'm proficient in hand on my weapons list.
Because it's crossbow, comma, hand instead of hand crossbow.
Yeah, it's crossbow, comma, hand, comma, comma, rapier.
So you're saying they shouldn't, they should have done it as hand crossbow, or instead of commas after each one, they should have done like semicolons after each one?
Yeah, there are many ways to fix this.
I would have preferred them just calling it a hand.
Hand crossbow, yeah, instead of crossbow, comma, hand, but here we are.
Yeah, but they do that so that crossbow, comma, hand,
Oh.
crossbow, comma, light, and crossbow, comma, heavy are all together when you look at
I
them.
would just call them.
I will
yeah,
throw an axe.
Okay, go ahead and
Absolutely.
give me a strength check. If you're proficient with axes, you may add your proficiency.
Is it a simple weapon, or is it a martial weapon?
Hand axes, I believe, are martial.
Let's find out. Ah,
Yes. Oh no, it is simple melee weapon, light thrown.
yeah, it's simple.
yeah, boy.
So excuse me, my 2 would have been a 4. Thank you very much.
Your 3 would have been a 5. You mean?
Totally.
It goes
19.
1 additional further. 19. All right. So you managed to get a bullseye.
Yeah.
So, you get handed a pouch with the gold.
Hooray! And that costs 5 silver or
It's 1 silver to participate in.
1 silver. Nice.
Guys are making money.
Yeah, it's because they're doing extremely well. It's almost like, adventurers are really good at cheating the system because they're good at so many things.
Yeah, we have +2 bonus innate, like instead of civilians who don't.
Yeah, who have +0.
Yeah.
So yeah, civilians are not doing well at this game. But all right.
Is there
I
anything?
imagine-
Go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna scene swap, so go ahead.
Is there anything involving balancing?
There are a few things involving balancing. There
not doing it.
is a tightrope set up in between 2 buildings.
I don't know if as a 600-pound horse I can stand on a tightrope. That
Okay.
seems like a bad idea.
Anybody else? Maybe the cat?
How high is the rope off the ground?
It is 100 feet off the ground. There is a
Oh.
net underneath it, though.
It's
Oh, okay.
100 feet high.
Yeah.
Anyone who can do this and survive.
If you survive, you get a gold.
Yeah.
Poor civilians.
So no, there's a big old net there.
So it's basically
Underneath it.
just it's far away from the ground, but there's a net. So
Yeah.
Or
You got to utilize that vertical space somehow.
How much would it cost?
The balance,
Mm.
it's a silver to participate.
Or I
Fancy's-
would like to try that.
Sadzi's feeling encouraged by seeing everybody else's successes, so she'll give it a shot.
Okay. And then Aura, you said as well you would like to participate in this?
Yes. So 1 silver.
Okay. So you pay your silver and you guys make your way up. There's a ladder set up to climb on top of the building. As you get up to the top, the person at the end, just this little halfling man introduces himself as Finson, and he goes, "Would you like the easy course or the hard course? You get more money if you make it all the way across without falling on the hard course. If you make it through on the light course, you get twice your money back. If you make it through on the hard course, you get 5 times your money back."
And Ora would ask, which is the hard course?
So the hard course, my friend over there, and he points to the other roof, and you see this big old Goliath standing there. He's going to shake the rope back and forth as you try and cross it.
Jesus.
Pass. I'll take the easy.
He goes,
I
"All
would like
right,
to try my chances at the hard course.
okay."
I mean, at this point, knowing that it's ridiculously difficult, Mizeki would also like to try the hard course.
Okay. This spectacle of you climbing the ladder is the most entertaining thing that has happened this whole
It
day.
takes 5 times as long as everyone else. It's
Uh,
not
but
my fault.
but eventually you
Can
get up
Seth-
there.
Can Seth start taking a betting pool on Mizeki climbing the ladder?
Sure.
God, it's so miserable. It takes so long to climb that stupid ladder. We
All
should
right.
have a lift.
So Satsu, you are going first. You are just trying to cross on the rope. Go ahead and give me a acrobatics check.
17.
All right. So it is super easy for you and your cat-like reflexes. You just kind of go over as you get near the end. You decide to throw in a flip and a cartwheel, and you're just like, yeah, no problem. And you make it across. When you arrive, the Goliath there goes, "Oh, nice," and he hands you back 2 silver.
I've made a silver today. Yes.
So, Orve, the hard course. So
Yep.
as you step up, the halfling yells, "Give it to him!" And you see the Goliath just kind of bend down, and he grabs the far end of the rope and begins to shake back and forth. And you see as the rope begins to sway. Go ahead and give me an acrobatics check.
With disadvantage?
Uh, no, it's just a much higher DC.
Oh, okay. Gotcha. 18.
So, all right. So you slowly make your way across. You get about 3/4 of the way, and as you get there, you lose your footing, and you slip off and fall.
Oh.
All, and you just hear this big old laugh, but you don't fall as fast as you expect to, and then you're slowly caught in the net. At which point you see as Mizeki has finally made it up to the building.
Okay. Is it my turn?
It is indeed your turn. So
11.
yeah, you make it about halfway on the hard course before falling.
I would like to point out that's next to 20. So it was close.
So you can point that out all you want.
I mean,
But-
having seen that it slows you down when you fall, Mizeki is 100% gonna like fully play into the floating downward.
Yeah. So eventually you fall, you make contact with the net, and then eventually you are back down on the ground as they just kind of roll up and flip over the net, and you guys continue to fall and drift down to the ground. So,
That was clearly rigged.
you asked for the hard course.
Speak for yourself, pony boy. And I'm tossing my coins in the air.
I don't. I feel like Mizeki's now sad. He's lost an event.
To be fair, you lost the first event you participated in the
Yeah.
first time too.
No, I didn't. I won. It was fine. Nothing happened.
Second time, yeah.
How much was the tightrope thing?
A silver.
I'm gonna do it again.
Okay. Hard course again or easy
Yeah,
course?
of course.
Okay.
Hard course.
How much money did Seth make from the betting pool? And can you do it again?
18.
You made 3 silver. Miseki, you make it almost all the way off, but you realize, your horse body is not designed for balance, and so you
Can I
make it
jump
about
at the last bit?
2/3 of the way through before falling this time.
Can I try to grab the rope?
Make a dexterity save.
17.
Okay, so you grab up on the rope with your hand as you fall. But you just hear this laugh says no, and the rope, instead of going side to side,
Oh,
begins to go up and down as
Yeah.
you continue holding on. Go ahead and give me an athletics check to climb and try and hold on to it as it begins this new form of movement.
7.
Nope.
It hit the corner and was like 18, 20, and then fell to 4.
Of course it did.
Yeah.
So as soon
that
as
doesn't
the first one
Yeah.
goes up, your hand, just not expecting that, it jerks right out of your hand, and you just float down into the net. And then eventually they come over and dump the net out, and you float down to the ground.
Again, pretending to swim as he floats downward dramatically.
As Mizeki floats through the air and Sefin grabs his even more earnings, hopefully. He's gonna touch Mizeki on the shoulder as he starts coming out of the net, and he'll say, "My friend, may you have Aura's blessing." And Mizeki will feel as if he's being guided from the gods, because Seth knows that Mizeki is not going to quit.
I mean, I can do it twice more, and I'm still up a goal.
So you're giving him guidance?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Or I will also try it one more time on hard to see if it works out for him, and also cast guidance on himself.
Okay. Pay your silver and make your athletics or your acrobatics checks.
Oh, acrobatics. That's
Can
dex.
Can I pay another silver as well and try to show the guys up?
Yeah, for
Never
sure.
mind. I don't even make it up the ladder. It's fine.
All right, Ore and
Having a
Mizeki,
rough day.
you guys make about 2 steps down before falling.
He's just having a bad day. Oof.
Yep.
These
Get a
rolls.
Salty, you make it
These
about 2
rolls.
steps out before you fall. The hard course is hard. You
Yeah,
haven't
especially
seen
if you're rolling
anybody
under
make
10.
it all day.
So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go find something that involves either lying to people or sleight of hand.
How close to 3 is it?
So at this point, it's
Yeah, if
about
it's close at all.
2:45.
If it's close at all, we'll head over that way then instead.
Yeah, because you guys have been doing this tightrope for a while. Because you're not
And
the
he's gonna-
only ones going through.
Yeah, and it takes me forever to get up the ladder.
Yeah.
Mizeki's gonna tell other people about the thing they're going to see as they go, like see if anyone else wants to come along. Because he sort of he always gathers people around him.
Uh,
just what he
Seth will
does.
go.
There are
And I'm
plenty
gonna
of people headed in that direction already.
Yeah, and so he'll talk to people, see if anyone knows anything about it. Basically, he's constantly talking to people and trying to learn things, and that's what he does.
Okay.
I'm going to assume that betting against Mizeki the first time would have made me a profit. The second time would have made me a profit, but then betting for him when I gave him guidance probably lost me that profit. So I'm
Yeah.
assuming it's kind of a wash.
Yep.
All right, so we're going to the 3 o'clock thing. Let's talk it up. What is this?
All right. So picture this: Gnome Elon Musk and the Cybertruck.
So Nomlon Musk,
No.
Cyber Sled.
So eventually, you guys get there, and there is a gnome who is up on stage, and there is a Warforged next to him. This Warforged looks, what do you expect? Very new, very sleek. Like when you compare him to Ore, you can tell that he's definitely a much newer model of Warforged. And
Has,
go ahead.
has Ore seen any other Warforged up to this point?
There have been a few, but they're not super common in Drusus or even on Haplorini at all.
So as this new Warforged walks out on stage, Ore's eyes kind of like distend a little bit and kind of zoom hard on this Warforged that walks out, and he just stands there motionless for like 30 seconds as this Warforged walks out.
That probably looks really creepy to everyone else.
Intense study.
Gee.
All right. So the gnome begins, and his voice bellows out again over the crowd. Hello, my name is Alvin, and I am from the city of Steel. You're
Hello,
welcome
Alvin.
for all of the advancements that we give unto you. This is 3, and he gestures to the Warforged. Today, we have brought our latest invention, all the way from the city of Steel. We present to you our horseless carriage. And this gets a few murmurs from the crowd, like, aren't all carriages horseless? But eventually, about 30 seconds go by, and you see a carriage, no horses, and it just is driving itself through the city streets, up and around the stage, circling out. And then out from the carriage steps another Warforged. And the gnome continues and goes, with our new horseless carriages, you no longer need a beast of burden to get from one location to the other. Instead, you just climb in, say where you need to go, and the carriage will take you there. Five will demonstrate. And the Warforged that was in the carriage gets back in, and you hear him shout out, City Hall, and the carriage begins to move.
It just
And
leaves.
just takes off and begins moving throughout the city.
Is anyone going to confirm that he actually goes to City Hall?
Do you want to confirm that he actually goes to City Hall?
No. Mizaki's going to lean over to Seth and go, looks like druids might be out of a job soon. Which is a
Seth will-
hilarious joke.
He'll chuckle.
As this-
Seth is definitely not going to be the one to track this to City Hall. He is a
Yeah,
slow dwarf.
As most of this display is going on, like Ore's mannerisms are like super focused and almost excited for what's going on. And when the horseless carriage takes off, he just reaches his hand out right onto like Selfin's arm and like grabs his shoulder. Still like dead watching this carriage take off, but just like that most excited little kid sees a superhero for the first time type of energy.
All right. So as you're hearing this, there are a few screams and applause as the carriage leaves, and then Alvin speaks up and he goes, and if you thought that was impressive, wait until you see this. Our human kite. At which point he directs your attention towards the sky, and you see this weird contraption that is very much shaped like a kite, just kind of swirling down towards the stage. Eventually landing on stage, there is another gnome who is attached to this kite, lands on the stage, unstraps himself, looks at Alvin, and just kind of waves to everybody. And Alvin goes,
Nomi Stark is awesome.
have you ever wanted the power of flight? Well, now
Yes?
it can be yours with this. It's not fully operational yet, it only glides right now. But if you need to get down from a high place, you'll definitely want this. The human kite. And again, lots of applause from the crowds.
But wait, there's more.
Call now.
As this is happening, and the crowds are going through, there is an Aarakocra who is just kind of walking through the crowd and is handing things to people. Eventually, he reaches you, and he pulls out this potion vial and hands it to you. The potion vial has a symbol on it. It is a 5-pointed star, with each point of the star having a line through it, making it form like the letter A. And then inside the center of the circle is what appears to be a alchemist vial, a bow and arrow, and a set of armor.
He just hands that to us, or has he been handing the same sample to everybody?
He seems to be handing the same sample to everybody, but yes, you do get one.
What kind of armor is it?
It's not armor. It's a vial. It's got a red
Oh,
liquid
got it.
inside.
The icon on it contains a vial
Got it,
of
got it.
armor and a bow.
Yep.
Like a shop icon or something.
Well, Sefin happens to be versed in alchemist supplies. Can he do an alchemy check on it to see how impressed he is by these?
You
Yeah.
can just drink it.
Go ahead.
Unimpressive.
He turns into the Hulk. Would you just want me to make like a flat intelligence check?
Yeah, go ahead and make an intelligence check. And I gotta find where I put this logo. Apparently, I did not put it where I wanted it put, and now I've got to find it.
21.
So 21. It is a potion of healing.
Damn.
Did you?
Nice.
He only handed one out to all of us.
One each.
One each.
Oh, nice.
So,
Does Stefan announce what this is once he figures it out?
Ah, a potion of healing, he says to everyone.
That's the
And we
uncapped
all-
thirst.
And we all got the same thing.
yes.
You don't need to drink
Gotcha.
yours. You're already healed. You were healed earlier.
By the clerics.
You're like missing like 1 hit point. Oh, you can rest. It'll be fine. You should save it for crisis situations.
Sadzi, you're on mute. I think
You
you're
are.
talking.
It's because her mute
I'm-
and her push to talk button are the same button, and sometimes it gets stuck on mute instead.
Oh,
Well,
fun.
that and Mock is directly behind me, so half the time I have to make sure that if I'm not actually speaking at the moment, I have to keep it turned off.
Well, no, you
And I
don't.
was arguing with him.
Well,
That's why you use push to talk.
yeah, push to talk prevents you from needing to have it on mute. That's why we do the push to talk.
She's just
I'll
doing it
fix it.
so she can sass me silently.
I mean, that's not a
This
bad
is not
reason, though.
untrue.
It's not.
You probably deserved it.
How much? What's our plan? How much later are we going?
Fine. I'll save the daggum potion.
Um.
Fine.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's 11:30.
Yeah, this is about how long I want to normally go, is 3 hours, which we got a late start today. So this is 3 hours.
Perfect.
Yeah, let's see here. Okay.
We can just
Do we
scene
want to
get
keep
there
going,
just
or do we
so-
want to go? I have a few more things that
Let's-
I wanted to hit with the festival, like the end of the festival and things like that, but
I feel like we can hit those next time, maybe.
okay.
Give us a chance to.
Yeah, you
think
can
about-
probably catch up on wherever the other fellow who is.
Yeah, I
but
gotta.
once finished with. Yeah, finished with Nomi Stark, and then let's.
Yeah,
So
Nomi
what
Stark
is
is my new hero.
He is my new hero too.
Alvin Glitterbelt.
Glitter
Calvin
belt?
Glitterbell.
Let's just call him
Glitter
Nomi Stark.
Belt.
Glitter Belt.
Mm-hmm. Yep, that's his name. So
Bless his heart.
I'm imagining him doing the arms out thing where he like introduces the Jericho weapons. He's like, I present you
oh, for
to
sure.
the human kite.
I'm kind of seeing like the old Henry Stark from World War One with the flying car that doesn't fly.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. By the way, What If is an amazing series. You
Yeah.
should all watch
Yes, it is so good.
And now I gotta find where this logo is, because I was gonna throw that out to show you guys. I know I have it saved somewhere. But yeah, I was gonna throw it up on stream and everything. But
So do we just want to scene break after these cool contraptions and finding these potions, and then pick it up right there?
yep, we'll
'Cause we
pick it
still
up.
have, like 8-ish hours of the day left.
Yep, we'll pick it up here next week.
Nice.
So thanks everybody for coming and for hanging out. Thanks to everybody that subbed and followed on the stream. I didn't really get a lot of the shout outs to that because obviously as a DM I can't always devote my attention to that. But I do appreciate that. It looks like we got new followers, Tacky of the Wacky and Kizigoto today, and then new subs, Mock and Rega. I mean, they're players, so thank you guys.
Woo!
Oh, and there we go. Thanks, Sam. Sam needs sleep. I feel you, Sam. I also need sleep. Thank you for the follow. But
As do I, even though Warforged don't need sleep.
we will be back next week. Hopefully, our 5th player is here. I'm gonna make sure I get his number and have
He
it to
was great in
contact him.
combat.
So yeah, he did absolutely fine in combat. Like I expected him to be there for the combat when I wrote the combat, and then when I rolled max damage twice in a row, I was like, I should probably bring him in here just in case.
Yeah, just have him show up and be like, "Hey guys."
It's plus,
let
you
me
know,
heal you."
now you guys have met him, so
Yeah.
The
like
silver lining is we truly lived up to our moniker today because we were almost a full party.
yeah,
Not
we
quite.
were almost a party, and you
Perfect.
guys, we almost made it through a party. So
Boom.
And I made 2 gold.
all right.
Nice.
And you were grievously wounded.
Yes, I was.
I made
Someone
2
stabbed
silver.
me in the haunch.
Grievously wounded. Like and subscribe for future grievous wounds.
Yeah, yeah. That'll just be Mizeki's nickname is Grievous Wounds.
Hey,
Grievous wounds.
I mean, if everything goes to plan when we level up, I'll get max HP, and so it'll even out.
Yeah, I'm gonna laugh when you roll another one when you level up again.
It'll
Yeah,
be fine. If you
likelihood that-
don't get hit, you don't die.
Okay, but the likelihood that you're gonna roll a 1 versus you get max?
Sam, that is
Yeah.
awesome if you want to do that. You are more than
Yeah,
welcome to make any fan art that you would like. So,
Do we have a link to the Discord? We can post with your bot?
so in the chat below is a link to my Discord. So if you jump in that, you can hop in the Discord where we talk things D&D as well as other gaming. You can potentially join in some campaigns. I know that Ore is running a campaign on Tuesday nights right now. I don't know if there's openings for other players in that, but he's running a campaign, and if anybody else wants to, there are several players in there that we can get to. So feel free. Oh, and Mock threw in a link in the chat as well. If you don't want to find it below the chat. Oh,
If
there
you
are
have a
definitely
character
some
you
guest
want killed
spots
off,
that I will be having as well. I totally planned to get a lot further. I didn't expect you guys to detour to the library, and so I was like, oh, okay. Like, I knew you guys would go to the library eventually, but I'm like, you'll go to the library after the festival day, right? Nope, during the
Did you-
festival.
Did you see
Library.
these 2 nerds?
Yeah.
Hey,
Got the
And
2
you
nerds in the
only
party.
have, like, we all just had a shared dream where this random wizard dude that we felt like we knew died. So of course we're gonna be like,
It's like,
let's
whoa,
figure it out.
let's check in at the library first.
I'm very excited to hear about your party, but I have to go study at the library for a little while first.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
you just described like my entire college experience.
It'd be hilarious if the library was closed during the festival.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
it
how
kind
I
of
did it,
was.
really.
Like, they were surprised that you came in, but
You're
like,
just like, why are you here?
it doesn't fully close ever. Like, it's a 24-hour library. There are always people there.
It's like a 24-hour fitness, but for your mind.
24-hour
24-hour
mindness.
library.
All right, I'm
With
gonna go ahead and end the
24-hour
stream. Thanks
mindness.
everybody for watching, and
Classic.
we'll see you next week.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Thanks for coming.
Bye.